Are we ready to go? Good morning, people. It is Tuesday, the 27th of February. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And we'll let you know who your lovely hosts are for today.
It's your boy, 6 foot plus of pure temptation. Big Mo from the east side of the bridge.
As always, my own royalty. Brent, you up in here? Yes, the
Morning.
activists. That's what we're doing. Early activism work.
They got him again.
They
What
must
happened?
have. I think at this point he must be part of they. If they get you this many times, you got to be one of them.
It's a conspiracy.
I think it's conspiracy. I think he's a conspiracy.
I can hear that.
Dear Brent, how are you, sir?
I am blessed and highly favored. Good morning, Mel. Good morning, Drew Dogs. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Davina. Good morning, Amy Snow Globe. Good morning, OMB. Good morning, Izzy Bambino. Good morning, Everest. Good morning, T. Good morning, Ramsey. Good morning, Crud Crow. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Crucial J. Good morning, Eman B. Good morning, Lala. I hope all of you are well. My time
So your time?
popping up. The little widget that normally pops up, but it's not popping up.
Got all the technical difficulties.
No, I said going for a lot.
No.
Oh, you talk about the time and date and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a special episode today.
Why?
4:50.
It's special.
It is.
Why?
Because I could have died at 4:59. But I didn't.
Yesterday?
Yes, I could have. Yes, because it takes a second to die, actually.
Mm.
Mugs. Every episode, is a milestone. But I like celebrate. I think 50s are. What do you celebrate episode 50?
No.
You wait for 100
Yeah.
and then you celebrate 200.
Yeah. And then after 200, I'll probably go 500.
You skip 300 and 400.
It's no point making a scene.
What birthdays do you think are birthday milestones?
16.
What happens to between 1 and 16?
The 5 is a decent one.
10? 10 is a big one. It's a double age. It's double figures now.
No, they're making a scene. 5 is a lot, I think.
13, you're into your teens.
No, don't come over the stupidness. 16, 18, 21, 30,
25.
40. 25 is alright. But come on, you just want to make a scene for like little stuff. Like, you just want to make a scene for little
Not for
stuff,
little
man.
stuff.
25's alright, but 30, come on. 21's proper, 30 proper, 40 proper, even 50, 60. After that, all the decades up.
You're celebrating 70. I've never known anyone celebrate 70. That's actually dead.
Someone's got so what?
Celebrating 70s doesn't have a ring to it.
How many 7-year-old parties you gone to?
None.
I know a few people that are doing their 70s and if they get there.
80?
If they get there and they're that kind of person, they're going to celebrate.
I've been at 80. I've been to a few 80s my time.
80 is big business.
80 is big business, but 70, you go just pray you make it to 80. 70 is not that exciting. If you don't think 10 and 13 is exciting,
70 is going to
not.
be a big one. 70 is going to be a big one because that means you had a party since 50. A proper party. That's 20 years.
Yeah, I hear you. Birthday parties are long anyway. I'm in a place I don't think I want to celebrate birthday. Like I would celebrate birthdays because I don't take life for granted.
Mm.
But in terms of making a scene, gosh, it's just a whole lot. It's too much
What's the best one?
to celebrate. I think maybe your 30s.
30 is cold, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to do something for my 30th. I think I want to have a party next year.
30 is cold still.
30 is like
I had a good 30th.
a holiday.
I just had a big party.
Yeah, I love a 30th. The last party I had was at my 25th and I nearly died, so that doesn't count. It was everything that could go wrong with that day went wrong. I was so over it. But at the end of the day, I saw a rainbow, which just reminded me that God loves me.
Okay.
Because honestly,
It's the little things.
the things I faced before I got to that point.
I think I'm going to have a big birthday for my 40th.
You should. 40, you definitely have to celebrate.
But you have to start planning that a few years in advance, innit?
Not necessarily. You can pull it off.
Well, you can just wake up in the year, in
I think you
the
can.
40th year and just
100%.
plan it.
Unless it's like a holiday. If it's a holiday, then I think you have to plan it before because people have kids, all that kind of stuff.
A holiday could be lit, you know.
It will be. I feel like holiday birthdays are where it's at. I'm going for my friend's having a 30th one this year. Going to DR. That should be fun. That will be fun.
My friend's having a 40th this year. We're going DR.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go Bali and now it ended up DR. I don't know how.
I feel like DR is more exciting than Bali.
That's true, but Bali's far. like, when am I ever gonna get over there? Do you get what I mean?
I hear you, but I don't know. Probably I've seen the monkeys. The monkeys be stealing people's phones and stuff. I'm not doing that. You guys know how I feel about animals. They're soulless beings. Yeah, I feel like I'd want to do like a Caribbean one for my birthday.
It was you that said that you were going to make this a theme, innit?
What? That bring it back up?
Yeah, and she's like, all right then.
Bet.
You are like so wrong though.
It's funny because I randomly thought about that yesterday. I just thought, and I laughed. Of all the things I thought he would believe, I'd never thought that would be one of them.
Yeah, but you can't.
So funny to me.
Oh, well, like, we can go again.
The
You
thing is,
can't see how wrong you are.
So
No,
weird
it's
because
so funny.
I had that same conversation with somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And they went past just dogs.
Oh gosh,
They went to
hamsters
blades of grass.
have souls.
Yes, because it's alive.
So people think God is just wasting souls anyhow.
They went to germs
Ah,
because it's alive.
Plankton.
Like it's something flipping.
I
Man,
didn't
Barry.
even say plankton. I said
Plankton.
germs.
the microorganisms. Oh yeah, for real. That's the verse.
Molecular.
People are. So some of you guys just think God has souls in spares and he's just giving you get a soul, you get a soul, you get a soul. Can you imagine sprinkling the grass?
It's wild how wrong you
Man.
are.
So the mountains have souls too.
Huh?
Mountains have souls. If you say volcano, I could hear that. They be erupting for bands. Mountains, they don't do nothing. They just stay there.
Nature is the life force of the earth.
You are jokers, man. Grass having souls. The person must have been high. That's the kind of shit you say when you're high. That's that hit blunt.
Huh?
You're not going to take it that far?
What with the grass?
And the trees and whatnot.
Well, essentially,
Will you believe germs?
huh?
So you're not for grass, but you're for germs.
No, I'm not for germs either. I was saying yesterday that the plants and the trees and the flowers are like essentially like the life force of the earth. Photosynthesis,
I don't think germs
oxygen.
Can you imagine? Germs keep the party going.
are 100%.
Too much germs can mess it up. I never heard no one die from too much oxygen.
You'd be surprised.
Germs keep you alive too.
That's good. There's good germs and there's bad germs, but it's a balance. So
So the
all
good ones have souls, but the bad ones don't.
all germs ain't
Well, they
equal.
got bad souls.
All germs ain't equal, but it's not about germs.
Not all germs
I'm
aren't
talking
equal.
about animals, plants and stuff.
That's the thing.
Plants and stuff is like shaky territory. You can make arguments for plants and stuff because they're
You
the life
can't. Are you high?
because they're the life force of the earth.
You must have some plant souls in you. Because I don't know what the hell you talk about this morning. Because all plants aren't the same, or all germs aren't the same. What was it? You said blood plants or germs? Whatever
All
one
germs ain't equal, I think.
is the same way all life ain't equal. I am not sharing souls with a flipping dog. I'm so insulted by that.
Woof.
Can you imagine? No, wolf.
So what about
imagine?
people? There's concepts of in certain religions and stuff like that, or people believe in like reincarnation.
Or when you come back
reincarnation and
as
stuff.
a butterfly, I don't believe in stuff like that.
That's fine.
I don't want to try to come back as a squirrel.
That's fine. But for people that believe in reincarnation, like how would it be possible without the transaction of souls?
You don't want to know what I think about people that believe in reincarnation.
That's fine, but that's your beliefs. That's other
Exactly.
people's beliefs.
And I understand that.
So it's not
And that's good for them.
It's not out of the realms of possibility.
Yeah, but you're asking me what I believe about their belief about reincarnation, and I think they're tricking themselves.
Some people have been here before. It's not just have to be animals. It doesn't have to be a butterfly or a tiger. Some people fought in World War One.
What?
They did.
And then they died and they came back.
Some kids now have vivid memories of
Did you watch the documentary on Netflix? Is that what you're saying that?
no, I
Oh,
ain't seen
okay.
it, no. But it's a thing, right?
Yeah, it's a thing.
So
So-
they died,
No, they live in
and then
now.
no, but have they been living since World War One, or did they die?
No, they're not even old enough to be in World War One.
So they've got memories of but you know that's what we're talking about. Who was the guest we had the other day? Oh, the psychologist, and she was saying about there's studies about carrying trauma and stuff in your DNA and blah blah blah. Especially with women, in the way that we so sometimes you can have like an egg that was in your great grandma or something like that. Not an egg or something like that anyway. That is passed on like that, and so the trauma that was on their bodies from when they were slaves, like actually picking cotton, you can be 4 generations down actually feeling that stress and that trauma on your body physically. So that's an actual thing. So the World War One fighters that are toddlers in nursery at the moment, it's just been passed down from generations, not because they were there and they saw it and they were in action.
So
Science.
I think he's basically saying that the level of detail that this person, I watched a documentary on Netflix, this kid was able to say, that's my friend. He was watching TV, some Hollywood, this and next. That's my friend. Huh? That's where he used to live. And they found out that there was a man living there, and that was his brethren. And they asked him for several other questions about this particular man. And he was able to tell, not all of it, but a lot of it. And he had never met the man, he had never met the family, he never met, went to the house on this and next.
Do you think his imaginary friend was giving him that information?
Possible.
Yeah, that's why. That's
my explanation. He obviously thinks it's really.
Yeah, he believes that the person came from World War One.
Yeah, there was another next kid who kept waking up and they were haunted by like dreams of being on some World War II ship. I think it was maybe World War One ship. It was the.
How old was the child?
Huh?
How old was the child?
Young. But they had to take the child to.
Psychiatrist.
No. To the actual place.
So the child had a fear, a dream, a nightmare of being on a World War One boat. And then they took him to the boat
100%.
that was in his dreams.
Yeah.
Great parenting.
And after that, he didn't have the dreams anymore.
Closure.
But all of that, I feel as though
It's
that's
a
all
scam.
devil stuff anyway. So that's my easy explanation. Question.
These are children of God, you know. This is what the key
Yeah,
factor is
exactly.
here.
And fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
That's what's so surprising to me, though.
fair enough.
With you lot's faith, like
So
you're entrenched in it.
This comment says, in my understanding, God is in everything.
I need examples.
So does that mean that because, quote unquote, God is in everything, and one can basically believe that, right?
Yeah.
Are they saying that everything has a soul?
That's why I need
Is that
examples.
what the person's saying?
Please.
Because are you saying that the fact that we should believe that God is connected to everything, that everything has a soul?
Everything.
You just need to believe that God is in that, so therefore it has a soul.
If God made it,
Is that synonymous with having a soul?
in my mind, if God made it and it's living and breathing, it has a soul.
So it's just being alive, you mean?
If God made it and it's living and breathing,
Germs.
then I suppose, yeah, then I guess on some level then.
All right. And the blades of grass.
God's creatures.
Yeah? All right. Fair enough, because obviously I was mocked.
Oh my gosh, so sand has soul.
Hmm?
You think sand has soul?
Sand's not living and breathing, though, is it?
Why don't you think
one
that
could say that is.
the sand is part of the entire life force of the earth? Where did it come from? No, don't say you don't know.
I don't.
You don't say
No,
you
no.
don't know.
But you told us that the entire earth is a living, breathing specimen of God, and sand isn't?
Is sand living and breathing? I said anything that's living and breathing, I believe it has a soul. So now
When
you
you
want to talk
say
to me about
living and breathing,
sand.
now
I
you talk
don't
about-
understand what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I said. How are you
Oh,
measuring
come on.
breaths?
I don't
Come
understand.
on.
I don't understand what we want to do here.
Is that your concept of life?
I said anything that's living and breathing, I think
So
it has
limited.
a soul. And now you want to have a
No, but
conversation with me
sand
about
helps.
sand.
No, but sand helps with plants and stuff like that growing there.
That's
100%.
That's
That's
great.
its
I
So
believe,
it must have life.
I believe plants are living and breathing.
Yeah, but sand as well aids in their living and
That
breathing.
is
So it
fine.
must have souls. So
You
you
are
believe that has souls
just
too.
trying to pick holes
about
in
this?
my
Soil.
opinion.
No, the
Yeah.
whole
What's
was already
soil?
picked from when you said
So-
it.
How about soil?
Trying to pick.
If you don't want to do
trying
sand, I
pick-
can understand you not doing sand, but soil.
Trying
Talk
to
me about
pick,
soil.
trying to pick holes in my opinion of me saying that I think anything that's living and breathing has a soul, and now you don't want me to have a conversation about soil and sand. It's a bit ridiculous,
Wait,
especially
no,
coming
why
from
is soil
sensible
ridiculous?
adults.
This is what's ridiculous.
I can hear sand being ridiculous, but why is soil ridiculous?
Soil helps plants grow. Soil gives life
friend.
to these things.
You water soil.
Didn't that man tell us we're walking in soil bare feet? That time that video?
My friend is connected to the
earth.
entire energy force. This force that you say that is in everything. Talk to us, man.
I need to talk to you. You're not making me look foolish. You make yourself look foolish.
Wait a minute.
don't need to- I
I
don't need to talk to
understand
you.
sand, but I don't understand soil.
Again, I can't help you understand style. But what you think you're doing, you're not doing it to me. You're holding the mirror up to yourself. I'm saying.
Really?
This is what I feel like. Yeah.
So
anybody watching
when
can
I
see
went
what's
to
going
germs and you said yes, there's a soul.
on. I never said
I'm
germs.
the foolish one.
I never said germs had a soul. You said that the guy said
I'm
germs had
asking
a
you
soul.
again. If it's living and breathing, you said,
Yeah.
are germs living and breathing?
I know. Do they have lungs and stuff? I don't really.
Oh,
See,
now it's the lungs thing.
I don't really count germs as living. They're like they're organisms.
Wait a minute. Do plants have lungs?
You need to figure out
Do
what
the
you're-
do the do the
Plant-
little blades of grass have lungs?
Plants breathe.
And you don't think germs do?
I don't know how they do it though.
They
innit?
literally multiply and like reproduce in
Yeah,
a
but
second.
And you're telling me I'm the mukbuk?
they're organisms that you're looking through microscopes and stuff.
Yeah, but they're living and breathing.
You're comparing to like plants and trees that spread life and grow and spread seeds and.
Oh, look,
and
here's
put
another
out
one.
shit.
Here's another one. Here is another one. We spotted another one. I see two of the team are on foolishness.
Two of the team are on foolishness.
That's both of us. Can you imagine?
But-
Somebody who actually
And let me never say that one
agreed to do.
I already explained to you that you do a show, yeah. People are watching and listening, and what you think you're doing to me, you're doing to yourself.
Evidently, I am now learning.
Yeah.
There are more of them out
This is
there.
why I'm comfortable. This is why I'm so comfortable and calm me sitting here because we was having a conversation.
Now-
You want to talk to me
now
about
I
sand
know.
and soil.
Now I know.
Like you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with me.
Mark 2, me, Antarctica, and also this.
Yeah.
I'm still a mukmuk.
Yeah.
There's a saying that I grew up hearing talking about. It says in the land of the blind, the one-eyed guy is king.
So you saying I got one eye?
I'm saying you and Fanan and the people with like-mindedness. I don't think you're as geniuses you think you
Oh
are.
my goodness.
I'm saying you lot are like-minded.
What does
And
that?
just because you're getting co-signs from your community does not mean you are
it's
right.
not. There's people that agree with you, you know.
And that's fine.
And-
I don't,
and
but I don't need them to. I don't need their comments up
Of course
on
you
the screen.
don't. No, but they're silent.
Look, another one. Look,
That's
another
fair.
one.
There we go. No, but she
Mark's
sleeps with her
making the
dog.
most sense.
So she sleeps with her dog.
As a dog sleeper.
Ever since she told her yesterday, I'm sorry, immature, you cannot.
And this is why people
Like, you
can't
cannot say the
stand
damn
this
thing.
show sometimes.
And that's fine.
What
I
is
agree.
her sleeping for? This is what
Why
you.
is it
This is what you
connected?
resorting to.
It's
This is what
so
you're resorting
connected.
to.
It's so
So
connected.
now any
I'm not gonna read
opinion,
the- I'm not gonna
any
read the full
opinion that
sentence.
she has is
I don't care
taken.
what the other half says.
Oh.
I so immature. I said I did. I don't even know if she agreed with me or not. Even if she agreed with me, my energy is still the same, sis.
This is
No.
bad.
And
You
also,
lot are terrible.
No.
Sarah is also with you. She also believes that
Not
germs have
Cerevelli.
souls.
Not Cerevelli.
No, not in Cerevelli.
Oh.
I don't think she would go that far.
I was rooting for her. Gosh.
That germs have souls. That blades of grass have souls. But not soil. Not soil.
What do they do with these souls, please?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
What do they do with these damn souls? What grass, yeah, doing with their souls? How are they being useful with their souls? Grass has souls.
I could understand you saying they're live, right? There's some
Life is
force.
fine.
You understand? But
Grass.
the only concept of soul comes from religious text. Do you
Literally
understand? So what is grass?
using.
I don't understand.
Bro, grass has soul is the funniest thing that has ever come out of the show.
Whew, I needed that.
I did, you know, I needed that. Oh, thank you. Great entertainment.
For those who basically come out of the
God's
darkness to
looking down on
basically show their support for Marx, I'm going to put you up on the thing because I never seen that person's name before. But,
What person?
oh, let me just put it up there. There we go.
Young Earns.
Yeah. So,
They must spell your name right.
It's typo.
Oh, okay.
Earns, yeah.
Mark, the only one making sense.
Yep.
So is there anyone on the screen to support a user?
No.
You don't need that.
People don't
The
want to hear.
sensible people aren't tuned in yet.
But
They're not here yet.
your support,
It's alright.
the silence is deafening.
It don't matter though. It don't matter.
The silence is deafening.
I'll be honest. The brain that thinks about grass having souls, there's a lot of silence up in there.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you
I
that.
could also see you clinging
That's
on.
what's
You lot
going on.
You lot clinging onto the blade of grass because that's.
No, we didn't. We didn't cling.
I stopped at germs.
We didn't cling.
stopped
I
at
just
germs.
deeped it. I really just deeped that we've been doing this for 15 minutes. And the basis of it was that grass have souls. So wild. So it's like the land, like, how many souls? Anyway, whatever. I'm
So
just.
saying roses had souls is not far fetched, but
Who said roses have souls?
we were talking about plants and stuff yesterday. You talking about hibiscus.
No, I was asking you, so you're telling me hibiscus has got souls? Or sarcasm?
Then you said
I don't
you
think
drink
roses
it-
got
you drink
souls.
it all the time.
Second?
Then you said he said why can you mention hibiscus and you said
Yeah, I drink it all the time. Yeah, so you saying I'm drinking souls every day.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is when we was referring to plants and stuff like that, it wasn't that things. But how come? Is it because they don't have petals? Like, how come the blade of grass is so contentious? But yesterday, when we was referring to plants and stuff, you didn't get this response. Is what
But
I'm asking.
you
don't
did
think
get the
that
response
plants
though.
have
That's why I
souls.
said hibiscus.
Huh?
You did get the response though. Because when I said what hibiscus has got souls and roses, that was sarcasm. I wasn't saying, oh yeah, you're right, they've got souls.
No, I know that's not what you were saying. But what I'm trying to say is it didn't get the same response. I'm trying to work out is there the major difference
Because you're
between
doubling down
is the
today.
difference between trees, plants, and like a oak tree, a giant great oak tree. Has that got a soul? No, I'm asking you. I'm just
No, it
checking.
doesn't.
I'm trying to see.
I love
like,
the
the only
poetic
things that have
nature of what
souls-
you're asking me.
no, I'm trying to
I'm
gauge.
trying to figure out what we're doing here. The
No,
only
I'm trying to
things
gauge
that-
how you lot feel because
In my-
yesterday
in
when
my
we were talking about
belief-
plants, it wasn't like this. But now because it's actually gone down to a blade of
What
grass,
was it like yesterday?
it's hilarious.
What
No, yesterday was
No,
still
you're giving
hilarious.
pushback, but you wasn't feeling like how you're feeling. Do you get what I'm saying?
I told you I developed the conversation with somebody else, and
Okay.
they went to blades of grass.
Okay, I'm with
and they
you.
went to germs.
And you agreed with them. This is what I'm saying.
Who
The
agreed
only
them? I never had a conversation.
Yeah, but you haven't disputed the fact that grass and germs have souls.
Okay.
Because you believe all living things have souls.
Okay.
The only thing that's got souls, in my opinion, is human beings. Outside of human beings, nothing else has souls.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, guys. By the
Good
way.
morning.
You tried to get me.
Oh,
but
shut up. we've voted and we said you are part of they. You are the they speak of.
They can't get me down, man. But anyway, what I was gonna say is, yeah, are we talking about the same thing when we talk
Oh,
about
not them
souls?
getting hurt.
So,
Aw.
wait a minute.
Aww.
This is how I felt when y'all were mocking me for the Antarctica thing.
That's so
and it's
sweet.
all game in here.
That's so
Do you
sweet.
understand? It's all game in here. I don't mind that you were doing that, even though I was correct.
Do you want a tissue, babe?
I've got no clue. But this is what we do in here.
Do you want a
Slim.
tissue?
This is what we do in here. Sorry, Manuel. Go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Uber eat some tissue.
I was. Are we
Don't
talking
get
about
it.
the same thing though? Like, are we talking about souls? Or are we talking about spirits?
That's the thing. Whenever we talk about spirits, we talk about souls.
Okay, so
These are saying souls.
so okay, but when you're talking about going to heaven,
Yeah.
is your soul gonna be in heaven or your spirit gonna be in heaven?
Sorry. Please make the distinction.
Okay, so I'm thinking the spirit is what will be in heaven. Yeah,
What is the spirit and what is the soul?
I think the spirit is that thing that existed before your body did. So that same thing that
Okay.
God created, it's immaterial. You know what I'm saying? And lives forever, right? But your soul, I think, if you didn't believe in religion, you could say your soul is almost like your brain, your consciousness, that sort of thing. So I think, yeah.
So it's based on how you define soul and spirit.
Yeah,
All right,
this is
then
why I'm thinking.
You can still have the conversation with us, but just substitute soul with spirit.
Okay,
If
cool.
you want to be part of the conversation, is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
but I'm saying, are you guys all talking about the same thing? Because this is why you might think that I'm saying something
Yes,
stupid.
the same thing that you said is
Yeah.
what I am calling
The
a soul.
spirit.
I am calling a soul.
soul, yeah, but
I've
is that-
never
is that thing?
ushered spirit in my head.
Okay,
Do
cool.
you understand?
But
I
is
don't
that-
walk around
Yeah.
talking about spirit.
Okay, cool. But okay, cool. That's what
So
we're
you
talking
can
about.
be part of the conversation.
Okay,
just
cool.
Translate that. Every time we say soul, just put spirit there. So do blades of grass have spirit?
Yeah, but this is what I'm
not a joke
saying.
right
to
in
you.
itself.
This is exactly what remember, yeah. I'm not necessarily saying that you guys are wrong. You know, I'm basically saying.
I don't mind if you say that.
No.
Yeah,
Of
it makes
course,
no
of
difference.
course, of course. But what I'm trying to say is, are you guys on the same page? Because obviously, you guys are laughing at each other, innit?
I'm definitely not on the page of anybody that thinks that all living things, because they're living, have souls. I'm not on that page.
All right, cool.
Because I want to know what the grasses are using their souls for.
And I'm telling you, if the grass get away with a hella
Can you imagine?
fornication, why
Running
am
them
I
out-
getting punishment? Why am I getting punishment?
So who needs reincarnation? Make
If
me.
the
you
grass
should've-
can still reach heaven for
Why are
doing
you so-
nothing.
Why are
This
you
is
so-
how
No,
it started.
no
No,
ministry.
that's the point, actually.
No good living.
Because this is how it started.
Why
It
are you-
started.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you're
the
quick.
concept of this is based on religious
Just because
text.
if we believe that all God's creations are God's creations, yes, and all the living and breathing ones have souls and stuff like that. Even if you want to go down to plants and stuff like that, yeah. Even if you do believe that, why are you going to turn your brain and say something stupid like, "Oh, so why am I being judged, but the blade of grass is not being"? What the fuck are you talking about?
All right,
Like, what kind of
let
that is
me explain it to
nonsensical?
you.
What you're saying is
Let me
stupidness,
explain it to
and
you.
you're too smart to just say
you
stupidness.
finish.
Not you saying why we're calling it stupid and then going ahead calling us stupid.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, what you're saying doesn't even. Why would you even go with that verse? What you're trying to prove, the point you're trying to prove, that's not even a strong case. It's stupid. Why are you comparing yourself to a blade of grass for? Just and then gonna say, oh, because we both got souls. Okay.
No, but
so?
I asked you this yesterday though, and I said, what's the difference then between a dog soul and a human soul? I did ask
One
this.
belongs to a dog, one belongs to a
You
human.
said that it has. You have
thumbs.
That wasn't the soul. You asked me, you said, if me and a dog both got souls, what's the difference between me and a dog? I said opposable thumbs because you're being stupid, but I'm pointing out a difference between you. So I don't understand, because why would me and a dog be exactly the same? Because I'm saying that we both have souls. Why would we have to be the same? The point that you're trying to make is stupid.
There's no point it's just a question being asked. What is the difference in the souls that people have?
I don't know the difference in the souls. You asked me what's the difference between me and the dog. I don't know what's the difference in the
Let me
souls.
explain
We're
my
God's,
point to
we're
you.
God's creatures. I don't see no difference. That's why, and bare people don't see no difference in that. That's why some people don't even eat animals. Some people won't wear animals' clothes because they don't see them different. Everybody's different. I'm not talking about the souls. I'm not saying there should be a difference in the soul. That's not talking about. You asked me the difference between me and animal. I know me and animal are not the same. What's that got to do with us both being created by God?
Yeah, but
That's got nothing to do
I
with
didn't
it.
want to antagonize you this morning, by the way.
I'm not even antagonized.
I hope it is that you know that my intent isn't to basically antagonize you.
I'm not antagonized. What I'm trying to say is you're a sensible man. So when you're saying stuff, I want you to say sensible
Let me
things.
explain my point. The
Don't let him
concept of
gaslight you.
soul for me.
Talking about you're a sensible man.
The concept of soul for me, it stems from religious text.
Mm-hmm.
My arguing on the side of an eternal essence is because I believe that after this worldly body withers away, my eternal essence continues. And in my belief system, it's going to be chilling in heaven in perpetuity.
And there's no plants in heaven. As good because just to check, there's no plants there because you're gonna go there after. So for it to be, for the environment to be filled up, you've got to be in and of the same minute. Okay, go on then.
Why is I basically said this can't be true? Because in reading this religious text, it says in order to reach heaven, I need to qualify, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have to withstand from doing certain things. Or do certain things, goody things.
You bring up fornication again.
Right? In order to get entrance, right?
And so why are you holding grass to the same standard? Okay, go on.
Let me finish.
Go on.
So I'm not walking around like a human being, right? Or if you're saying that
I'm so done.
the same dogs that we let people we let lick our faces and whatnot. When I say we, I'm now impersonating the white person. Yeah, and if they're allowed to run around and hump and and they're still entering heaven, then my friend, why am I doing this? Why am I following this particular faith if my soul can be used for whatever I want on this earth pleasurably?
Iman,
Do you not understand?
say something, please.
But you're different things though.
Talk to me.
Like, it's almost like saying.
Before he continues, do you understand what I said? Why I said what I said?
I get your logic.
All right,
I get your logic. Yeah.
Now continue.
I think it's, from what I'm hearing what you say, yeah, it's basically like saying, okay, because we both have souls, we should be judged by the same standard.
Yes, because my belief is that my soul, if we both have souls,
Yeah.
my soul is the only one that matters when it comes to when I die, what happens next.
But that's also
Only if I'm entertaining that all animals have souls.
But that's also why I think Mark is saying, but why are you saying the souls have to be the same? You see what I'm saying?
Let's just say it isn't the same.
Let's just say isn't or is.
Let's just say it is. You just said
Okay,
he's
cool.
saying it is.
No, I'm saying that you guys are saying that. So he's saying why you guys
Wait, you
assuming
guys are saying what?
that, for example, if it is that that I believe dogs have souls, that they have to be this in the same.
But that's the thing. I didn't say that. I just asked,
Yeah.
what is a dog's soul? Like, what is their soul used for? I just asked the
Yeah.
difference. If I don't believe that these things have souls, I want to help me better understand why you think they have
Bring me in.
souls.
Yeah.
Bring me in on the thought process. So I didn't say that our
they
souls are
don't.
the same or whatever
Yeah.
it is or whatever. It was a question.
So bring me in. Bring
This
us
is
in.
it.
You and Marks, bring us in.
Help me understand your logic. That's why the question's been asked. Help me understand your logic.
Do you know what it is? I think it's more so because, again, I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Marge.
No, don't worry. You all are the same brain.
It's not necessarily that, because you guys are basically saying, seem to be stronger saying they don't have souls.
100%
right?
I don't believe they do.
I think Mark's more prepared to say, why is it that you think they don't have souls?
It's nice of you to question the hell out of everything.
But I
love
asked me
when
after
people
yesterday.
question. Love it, right? But
You're so
when you
weird.
question, just
Yeah.
say, I have no theory. I am just flipping opposing.
No,
Say that.
I don't think it's just a case of I'm just opposing. I think it's because again, you have to get me from wrong here. But
don't do that.
I will assume that position, right? It's more so because this is a living thing. And this living thing, if you're saying this is a living thing, you respond to stimulus, and that means you respond to your environment, and you can make decisions on how best to live your life. If it is you can live your life, even if you are an animal, and you could decide to stop here, short of here, so you can survive till tomorrow, that means there's something about you that God has put in you to make decisions about your existence.
It's alive and it has a purpose.
Yeah.
Just like germs, yes? Don't say that germs don't have some form of purpose.
Exactly, this just saying.
Okay,
cool. So you're saying that the blades, the grass, the dogs, whatever, should be held to the same standard as you to get to heaven. Rest of the day, I get what that. Yeah, but
That's not exactly what I said.
That's not exactly what you're saying. But I'm paraphrasing. Yeah? For you to get to heaven, you don't want to see the dogs running around humping, whatnot. You don't want to, yeah. But anything that you see in heaven is going to be in and of you. It's going to be in and of God for it to be there. So I'm saying, what's your environment? The blades of grass don't make it. There's no grass in heaven. There's no trees. There's no grass in heaven. This is what you're telling me.
I just see this as
I
don't know what you're talking about.
I'm asking you to think that way.
There's none there, because I think the way you're interpreting heaven as the new world. The new world is separate. When God creates a new world again, then you have all the grass, and then you have all the dogs and whatever else you people want to be laying in bed with. Okay. You have all of that stuff. But in heaven, currently, no, there is no. I don't believe that there is.
I personally don't know what's going to be in heaven.
There's angels and whatnot. I don't think
animals didn't make it. There's no birds singing.
Let me finish talking. I don't think in between the angels singing and proclaiming God's glory, they're also watering plants and doing and getting out the weeds. I don't believe that. And I told you lot as well, if I get to heaven and I see any animals there, I am in hell. It's impossible.
I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying about the new world and stuff like that. But again, in my mind,
because when the new world is created, I'm not going to be scared of animals anymore.
In my mind,
I'm going to be like,
what's the difference between the new world and heaven?
I don't know, but everything of not everything of the earth, but everything of God's doing. Like I would expect to see nature in heaven
because it's beautiful to you.
Because it's God's creation.
No, that's just God's creation on Earth. You do realize that God created different planets, right?
Yeah, so it's in and of. So we're God's creation on Earth too. So and we're going to be there.
Okay.
So,
but how does it speak to it having a soul? I can understand you saying that whatever has life, I believe it has a soul. Say that, right? That's when I developed. All right, cool. You believe plant life has life. You also believe that has a soul. You believe that germs are alive. It must mean it has a soul. That it sounds silly is why I'm going there.
I'm not saying that it sounds silly. I just don't know why you keep clinging onto it. Like, I'm the one who told you that
one
germs.
thing is attached
so do you
to
not
the
think
next
that
thing
it does
that's attached to the next thing?
Huh?
Do you not think that germs and grass, so let's take that out of the equation then. Do you think that they have souls or not?
I haven't got that far into my thinking, but when you go into microscopic organisms,
I hear that.
If we're going into microscopic organisms, then I'll question it. I don't know.
But we're here now though. The same way you
yeah, but he's moving. I'm on the side that I'm saying germs have souls. I'm not.
Our body is made of microscopic organisms. Our flipping body is made up of little flipping organisms.
Yeah, but them little minute things, I'm not prepared to go on record and say I believe they have souls or not. I don't know. I haven't.
Fair enough. He says you don't know.
Do you know? So we can't have.
Yeah. We
can't really have the conversation.
Yeah, fair enough.
How you brought up germs, not me. No, but you keep talking about it.
You stopped. I've now. I don't need to continue anymore because you said you don't know anymore. So you're not arguing any case anymore.
No, just about germs.
That's right. I'm done.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think. I don't think. Huh?
Yeah, he does. Let him go.
I don't necessarily think. I'm like thinking, like taking exactly from where you left off, But I think for me, the difference might be you have a spirit. If it is you were made in the image of God. If you have the capacity to be God, right? Then I think you are a spirit. Because I'll tell you why. Because same way.
Say that again.
Say it again. Slow this time.
I think you have a spirit. This soul thing that we're talking about, right?
No. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Just so that we're on the same page, right? If you was made in the image of God, basically, you have the capacity to be God. Right?
Who is made in the image of God?
Man.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this is where the difference is, right? So I'm basically saying, in the same way, you can have robots, and at some stage you can develop them. They have autonomy to do stuff that you can tell to go make me a cup of tea, makes a cup of tea and comes back, right? And it doesn't have this soul that you're talking about. I think that's how animals and plants are.
So they don't have souls.
So they don't have souls.
Right. Yeah.
So
I think that's where the line is.
That's your theory. And thank you very much for sticking with it. So he's not on your side.
After all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But
okay.
I'm basically saying I think that's where I draw the line.
Where you would draw
that's
the line.
where I draw the line.
Yeah.
I think it's yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
so in the
fact,
same,
I did say that
way,
to be fair as well.
so in the same way, I can move house. I change location from earth to heaven. I can have a robot there. It's not the spirit of that same robot. You know what I'm saying? I can have plants in heaven, but it's not that same plant that was reincarnated or the same soul or spirit that was transferred to heaven, if that makes sense. It's just alive here and the new one's alive there. You know what I'm saying? But us, if we're there, we were actually the same spirit, if that makes sense. So I think that's where I would kind of draw the line.
Oh, well, welcome to the lit side. Let's get into headlines.
All right, so first headline, Israel's military have said, that they have destroyed an extensive underground tunnel that was used by Hamas, with openings leading to a cancer hospital and a university in the northern Gaza Strip. The tunnel, said to be 10 kilometers long, ran between the Turkish-Palestinian Friendship Hospital and Israel University, which is located south of Gaza City, up to the northern neighborhood of Zaytun. The army unit is in charge of locating and destroying tunnel networks, said its discovery was part of a wider effort over the past month to find a subterranean network that connects the north and the south of the Gaza Strip. The chief operator of the Nahal Brigade combat team, known as Major Ron, said, during our raids, we discovered an 18-meter deep tunnel under the hospital with 2 exits, both in the southern and the northern parts of the hospital. The tunnel was destroyed, according to the IDF, which released a video showing 2 large explosions emanating from the dunes. And the next headline, this is about Alexei Navalny. Apparently, he was about to be freed in a prisoner swap when he died. This according to an ally of his called Maria Pevchik. She said that the Russian opposition leader was going to be exchanged for Vadim Kraskov, who is a Russian hitman who is serving a life sentence in murder in Germany. 2 US citizens currently held in Russia were also going to be part of the deal. She added that negotiations were at their final stage on the 15th of February. The next day, Mr. Navalny died in his cell. In a video posted on Mr. Navalny's YouTube channel, Ms. Pechik said that, who is the chairwoman of the FBK, which is the Anti-Corruption Foundation, said negotiations for a prisoner swap had been underway for 2 years. According to Ms. Pechik, Mr. Navalny was going to be freed under a humanitarian exchange, and American and German officials were involved in the talks. The process finally resulted in a concrete plan for a prisoner swap in December, is what she was saying. And our last headline, I'm not too sure if you guys heard about this, but a US airman has died after setting himself on fire in front of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. The man was identified by police as Aaron Bushnell, who's 25, from San Antonio, Texas. Officers from the U.S. Secret Service extinguished the flames before the man was taken to hospital on Sunday afternoon. Before setting himself on fire, he said he would no longer be complicit in genocide, and the Palestinian flag was found at the scene, which is part of the protest. This is what police are saying. In a video aired live on the streaming site, Twitch, the man identified himself and said that he was a serving member of the Air Force. However, the Metropolitan Police Department in Washington said that it was not confirmed the authenticity of the video. No embassy staff members were injured in the incident. And that's it for the headlines, guys.
All right, let's get into what you're saying.
People. So this topic, right, is something that came from a discussion between Kirk Franklin and Shannon Sharp, yeah.
Love Kirk.
But if you don't mind, press that.
Is it all about dating?
Yes.
Yeah. Good
So
interview.
is it new? Okay, it's the old one,
Yeah, it's old.
So there's a like, to be fair, he's talking about a lot of different things in this video. It's like 6 minutes long, to be fair. So I'm only gonna take one section from it. And to be fair, he's kind of echoing stuff that Esther said many times, and which is about basically not believing that marriage should be the sum total of a person's existence, right? Mm-hmm. But I want to ask this question because similar to what, it's not exactly the same, but Brent was mentioning something earlier today, talking about the idea, the concept of spirits and soul living forever and all this type of stuff is from scripture. These are religious ideas, right? And I want to ask you guys first, is marriage a religious idea to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it came from religion, yeah. It's a God ordained thing, practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to be a bit specific. I'm going to come back to you yesterday. Yeah. Brent, what about you?
How do you define marriage here? Just a union between two people?
You define how you want to define it.
The idea of marriage, I guess I heard about it before I heard about Christ, but that didn't mean that the church hadn't looked to influence society already. So probably the beginnings was religion.
Okay, cool. Esther, you said basically you believe it's ordained by God, right?
Yeah.
Are you specific when you say that in terms of a particular God, or do you see it as?
I don't need to listen here. Whenever I talk about God, the only God I am talking about is God Almighty, the God who is the Father of my Lord and Savior Jesus.
Okay, cool.
I don't talk about any other
Christian
gods.
idea. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know about. I don't know what they do in other parts.
Yeah.
I'm not involved.
Okay.
My mind is on Jesus alone. That's my only God.
All right, cool. Brett, can you play that clip, please?
You said play from 4 minutes?
Yeah, 4 minutes.
You think I
night.
could do that on Instagram?
Yeah.
Orcs.
You just scan in it.
Let's see.
If it's a real, you can't.
You can.
Yeah, you can. At the bottom, you just
The bottom
pull
of the
it
screen,
across.
you can just click it. I mean, you won't know where the
I'm gonna
time's
pay for
going to be,
everything.
but you can move it across.
How do I move?
Yeah, if it's a real, you can't do that.
I did
If
it
it's a
today.
video, you can. That's when it has the line on the bottom.
Yeah, it has that.
Okay.
I did it today.
Hold on, if you pay for everything, are you expecting old school values?
On the web.
I'm not able to do it here.
Oh, god damn it.
So maybe you can play it from your phone and play it to your mic.
Okay, cool.
Shannon's got a dog as well.
Does it?
Yeah.
He probably
It looks like he's got a dog.
What'd you say, Brent?
He definitely sleeps with it.
He does. Oh,
Yeah,
100%. Because he carries that dog like it's the girlfriend he wishes he could carry. It's crazy. Through the airport and all sorts. It's a cute little dog as well. Therefore, all up in his bed.
Hey, stupid little dogs.
1 second, guys.
Do you want a revolution?
Okay, cool.
We're looking at the breast, we're looking at the neck, we're looking at her feet, we're looking at her.
Nah, I ain't looking at no feet. Man, ain't nobody looking at no feet.
You're looking at feet? Yes, I'm looking at feet.
He's like,
I'm looking at feet.
So do you go on a date to get married?
I don't believe in that as much as I know that a lot of Christians push that narrative. I don't believe that marriage has to be the sum total of a person's existence. I don't believe that.
That seems to be the overwhelming thing now.
And I think it's unfortunate. It's because, first of all, about sheer numbers. There's going to be many, many beautiful women that will never get married just on the sheer numbers. There's more women than men.
Right.
So if we make humans feel like that your sum total of purpose and existence is in the space of a marriage, then we fail all of the beautiful people that will be single, that are single,
Right.
that God can't use them, that there's no purpose for their life, and that there's no plan, and that they can't live fulfilled lives.
Right.
So you can be able to date and still put parameters on if you want to be active or not, how much you want to give of yourself. So you can be able to still enjoy beautiful relationships. And it doesn't mean that you got to be walking out of your mind, marriage.
Right.
It's because not getting married is not a sin.
Oh, okay.
It ain't a sin.
Right.
And so we got to stop making everything black and white. Marriage is not on the same level as salvation. It ain't. And so you got to be able to have friends with people, and you can be able to establish the boundaries of what the friendship needs to look like, how far it needs to go before it crosses over. And if something beautiful turns out of that turns into a marriage, it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Marriage can be a beautiful thing, but it's not the sum total of a person's existence.
But let me ask you a question. This open marriage, can a marriage survive?
All right.
Preach, preacher. Word.
So about sex before marriage, ain't that a sin no more?
He said,
We're going the same place.
And, no, but this is how people fail exams, because he said, he said something very different. He said, not being married
Yeah.
is not a sin. Like, you're not sinning by not being married.
And he also
because
said you can build beautiful relationships without being married and stuff like that.
yes,
Yeah,
you
you
build up a
can.
relationship. That doesn't mean that you're fornicating and you're sinning against God. No.
So
That's not how godly people date. And godly people get to know their partners.
these beautiful relationships you talk about has got no sex in them.
Yeah. So you guys, I don't know what you guys thought. You guys today are very off your game.
No,
You're
why?
tag teaming on the off as well. Because what he said, because when you said about what about sex is sinning, he's like, yeah, that's what I was going to go with it. But what Kirk said is completely different to that.
He was encouraging dating. He was encouraging dating and fornication.
No, he wasn't.
Essentially, he was.
No, he wasn't.
He was saying that you could blow backs out and have meaningful fun without being married. This is what he's saying.
When you're serious and
he's
having a
saying it
conversation,
wasn't a sin.
Tag me back in when you're serious.
Sex before marriage is a sin. So that's the. I don't think I'm conflating the two things here.
You are because the way people date, the way Christians date does not include sex.
That's not
true. So when
true.
he's saying that they should date and stuff,
that's not true. Christians fuck.
I'm tapped out. I'm tapped out. I can't have a conversation if you're not going to be serious about it. It's just going to irritate me. So I'm tapped out.
I'm not saying nothing.
Yes, they do.
I'm tapped out.
They do.
Wait.
They do.
Well, what is that got to do with what he was saying?
No, but this is the thing. Here. This is where this is where I'm basically trying to take it. Right. This is why I agreed with Marx. Right. Because the question is this is why the topic heading is no marriage plus dating plus religion. Does this equal sin? Because the reality is, right, as much as, like you're saying, Esther, Christians are not fornicating or whatever, that's what I guess their label is. A good Christian, or just a Christian, period. Actually.
A Christian that's trying to honor God with their body and trying to honor God with their relationship and whatnot does not have sex.
Cool.
When I say Christian, I'm not speaking, if I'm saying Christian, I'm not speaking to somebody who decides to go and do it, like to essentially live how they want to live, but say they're Christian and go to church only Easter or maybe just Christmas and blah, blah, blah.
Of course.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the way Christians who want to honor God with their relationship date. And it is possible to do what Kirk said, which is that you get to know a person and your relationship will blossom and whatnot because you committed it to God. And in committing it to God, you're not having sin in that mix up. So it is possible to date somebody and get to know them wholly and then marry them. It is possible.
I think that's 100% the case, right? That you can do these things. But what I'm saying is that this is the question I'm posing. Is it a rigged game where, for example, if you're saying this to people, okay, you don't need to get married, it's not the sum total of da-da-da-da, and which is a fact, by the way, within the confines of religion, where in a particular faith that you may subscribe to, you believe that sex before marriage is a sin. Like Marx is basically saying, when you've got these people who like each other, who are dating, right, and marriage is not the sum total, so you could just be having a life of just dating. So you're 30 years old and you just date till you're 70. Different people, it's up to you, same person, whatever it may be, and you're not having sex. Is that something that is realistic? That's basically what I'm saying. And if it's not realistic, does that mean we are kind of confined into a place where the only end is that you will be basically committing sin? It's just a conducive thing for sin. Because like you're saying, when you've got people that really like each other and they're in the same spaces, are these urges not going to be there?
It's realistic if depending on what your primary goal in life is, and depending on what your purpose is. If your purpose is very God driven, it is 100% realistic. If your purpose, if you also have self-discipline, it is realistic. I think this idea that being in relationships and not having sex is unrealistic speaks to the lack of sexual discipline that there is in society today. That is why we're in a lot of issues that we are in as a society, where people can think that going without sex is this outlandish thing and oh my gosh, it's this impossible thing. Mm-hmm. It's not an impossible thing to do
at all.
So it is realistic to be dating. If again you're Christian and your sole purpose and your sole drive in life and blah 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 is God and what God wants for you and your purpose and blah blah blah, it is realistic. It can be done. If you don't find a partner, it will be fine. I think the issue is that though, when you don't watch interviews in entirety, it's easy to take a little clip and then misinterpret what he's saying. When he's saying that you're not sinning by not being married, when he's saying that a person should not be defined by the marriage, it is to a bigger conversation about how it is that people are seen as less valuable as human beings because they're not married, because they're not attached in a relationship. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, no. He's not encouraging people to go and sin. He's not saying that it's unrealistic for you to have sex or date and not have sex or whatever it is. That's not what the conversation is about. The conversation is that there's too much value tied to people being married, and so essentially people end up in silly situations that they shouldn't be in, and blah 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 blah. But it is not. I wouldn't say it's not. I wouldn't say it's not realistic to date and not have sex. It is very realistic.
We're saying that he's saying that the marriage is not the sum of all your parts. It doesn't make you up and all that rest of the day. Yeah. So we take marriage off the table, and trying to say that people that he's saying marriage is not the be all and end all. It's not the end goal. Whatnot. So if you take marriage off the table, yeah, you have to take everything that comes with it off the table. So then your mindset is not really thinking about the fornicating out of wedlock doesn't even, it's not a thing anymore. If you take marriage off the table, you get me? Marriage can't not be your end goal, and you don't need it to thing you that, and you can build meaningful relationships and whatnot. So if you take that, then you got to take everything off the table, and you can't feel the same way about marriage out of wedlock because it doesn't even, you're never going to get married because it's not even the same goal. You know what I'm trying to say? So you do take it away, so you won't have no problems with fornicating in your relationship because it's a totally different mindset that you're adopting. So that's why it is potentially promoting, even though not getting married is not a sin, it is promoting living in sin.
Yeah, you guys have missed it completely. Everything you said went straight over your heads.
No. Can I say something quickly?
Completely.
Yeah, you have to understand something. Yeah, so yeah, I understand 100% of what he's saying. I understand everything he's saying, but I don't care about what he's the overall thing. It's me taking one part from him. So it doesn't have to be Kirk. It could have been me. It's me saying, fine, I agree that marriage doesn't define you. Why should it? You could choose not to. People don't every day. Like you said, there's more women out there that just may want to be married but will never get married. Fine. But what I'm saying is the implication of this potentially that we could be going down a road where sin will be more realistic for people because we are saying you don't need to get married. So essentially also what he said was you can just have a culture of dating, getting to know people, have great relationships with people. Again, fine. But if you're doing that for, let's just say, from the age of 30 till 70, are we also saying that person's not having sex from age of 30 to 70? Is that what we're saying too?
That's not realistic.
But this is what I'm saying. So if it's not realistic, are we now saying that you're going to be going down a road of fornication then? Do you get where I'm coming from? So this is not about his wider thing. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not concerned with that. I'm just talking about the fact that if this is this, are the implications
because he never said that literally, and so I'm not going to speak to what he meant, but it's like the implications, isn't it? Because people take what they take from it and interpret things how they interpret things. And
Case
that's
in point, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I took it. So law of averages means I'm not the only person that's going to take it that way. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? So it does sound like, no, I don't want to say it's promoting or whatever, but it does sound like it's leading people down the other path, isn't it? Like leading down to living in sin, essentially, because of fornicating out of wedlock. And again, he's not. I never heard him tell people to do that. But it's not realistic to think that everybody's relationship's gonna be like that. And again, if that's your mindset, if you're dating for 30, 40 years or whatever, of course you're gonna have sex at some point. Because I don't know a lot of people that live like that live not having sex outside of marriage anyway. Obviously there's people that do it. So not like that. But I'm saying that's like a minority, no?
And this is what I'm saying to you. So at the end of the day, in terms of a man and woman not having sex before marriage, that happens. I think it happens far more than people think.
Finness doesn't know how to love someone without having sex. Is that an issue?
What?
It says how you love someone without having sex.
What do you mean?
How can you love someone without having sex?
You love me?
What?
You love me?
Don't do this.
No, but for real though, I think that's a very silly question.
No, but
You can love someone with having sex.
No, but obviously,
But you can be having sex with someone you don't love.
That's what I was
So it
asking. I was saying, is that question?
It works both ways, but then that's the same.
I was saying, is that question there a part of the problem? Because he said about the fact that people don't know how to love without sex.
I think entertaining the question is part of the problem.
No, but
That's
No, excuse me. Please don't tell me what to do. I think people can think however they want to think, but I think entertaining that is part of the problem. But that's from the great mind that told you that grasses have souls. So, as you were.
Obviously, Fernand is just typing in the chat here. But let me just try and elaborate from there. Yeah, I think he might be just saying, obviously, when you love somebody, man or woman, whatever you choose, that intimacy that you want to build up, do you feel like you need to have sex to develop that intimacy? Is there something that comes with sex, right, that you can't get in other areas of life? And if so, isn't that kind of necessary to take your relationship to the optimum place?
When you talk about intimacy, I suppose, because that's the top level of...
And that's what I think he's talking about. Obviously, if I'm wrong, Fernand, tell me. But you know what I'm saying? That's what I think he's saying.
I think the issue is that when people think of intimacy, they only ever think of sexual intimacy. And a lot of these conversations about relationships and dating, people place so much value and so much stock in sex which is fair enough if that's what you want to do. However, you've got to look at the other side. When he asks, how can you love someone without having sex? There's a lot of people that have sex without loving the person. So a lot of these conversations, when you talk about intimacy and is it possible to achieve intimacy without sex? There are a lot of people that have relationships. There are a lot of different types of relationships that exist where there's a deep level of intimacy and there's no sex in there. So I think that saying these things as if it's like it's not hard for everybody. Do you know what I mean? I think if something is hard for you, it's hard for you. It doesn't mean that as a general rule, it is hard.
Yeah.
And the issue, I think, when it comes to relationships and talking about relationships and whatnot, people mainly focus obviously on romantic relationships anyway, but let's just talk about just romantic relationships. People assume that the best way to be closest enough and is only via sex. That's not the only love language there is. When people talk about love languages, physical touch is not the only love language there is. Having sex with someone is not the only way you can let them know that you love them. There's many other ways to build intimacy. There's different ways to to feel a connection with your partner. There's different ways to build a relationship than that. But
But is it the most extreme, the most intense? You know what I'm saying? Like there's different ways to get an amazing physique, but is maybe the best ways going to the gym and lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that best way the most intense way of building intimacy between your partner? Sex. And if that is completely off the table, will that potentially suffer? You know what I'm saying?
I think it can be.
Or even if it doesn't suffer, will it basically just not reach its highest point? That's basically what I'm saying.
I think both, because I think a relationship can reach a very, very high point without sex. So if, for example, in a Christian relationship where they're not having sex, the love between them, you will feel that. And the intimacy between them, the love they share for each other, all that stuff, you will feel that. I do think that sex is deeper than what people make it out to be. I think sex is a spiritual connection, it's a spiritual act, in my opinion. So it definitely does hold, it is important to deep intimacy, 100%. But I think the issue is that because we live in a very sex mad world, people assume that's the only way to be intimate.
Yeah.
And it isn't.
Okay. I mean, obviously, like I said, it definitely isn't the only way. But again, back to what I was saying about the religion, no sex, and all that type of stuff. Yeah. Do you feel like it's possible? I mean, you kind of said it already, but I just want to be clear. So, yeah, are you saying you think it's possible to be to be celibate, basically, from like the ages of 30 till basically if you die, for example, if 100%. you believe, for example, this is just not like marriage is not for me.
Yeah.
But I want to be a Christian. I want to have a relationship. This is a realistic thing for me and for other Christians out there, other Muslims, other whatever.
100%. Because there's a lot of things to be celibate. There's a lot of things that you will do.
Yeah.
And I think that people have that within them to be able to do it, but people don't give themselves a chance to do it. But 100%, I do think a person can do that. 100%.
Okay. But what's your thoughts on all of this?
What's the question?
Oh, and everything. So basically, you can pick one particular thing, but just I guess the overall idea, which is that yes, if you agree anyway, that marriage isn't the sum total of a particular person. Do you feel like
I don't think that is the case. I mean, when you say marriage, you're talking about the whole song and dance that is put to us to get married and whatnot. Are you talking about a wedding and whatnot, or are you talking about it's a union?
The union, yeah.
Because in my head, I could be married before I'm married. Like when I'm sweeting, my lady, I'm in my head, I've already said it. God, this is mine.
Have you told her?
Marriage.
I talk about God. So it's between you and God, but she don't know she's married.
So it's essentially, there is this connection that only our souls understand.
Okay.
You want to see what I'm doing now?
So the grass wouldn't get it.
I basically ain't getting that, mate.
Even before I've uttered "I love you," I believe that she will know that I love her.
Okay, fair.
She would feel that, right? Just in the same breath as us going to God and committing our relationship, our union to God.
Yeah.
That for me is the marriage covenant. You understand? So when you ask me this question, I need to know if that's what you're talking about. If that's the baseline, which is I'm going to operate on.
No, because anyone can kind of do that. I think it's more so the whole thing about doing it in front of your people and ceremony.
Yeah, it doesn't make a marriage. No, I don't believe it makes a marriage.
Yeah, I don't believe it does either.
You don't think what makes a marriage?
That whole pomp and splendor.
The ceremony, the scene of it all.
Well, yeah, but what do you mean by? I just want to be clear. It doesn't make a marriage because if you do it, like you're married, isn't it?
But what was the question you asked me?
I was getting there, but obviously we didn't get there yet.
Yeah, that was okay. Let's continue.
I'm basically saying, if you don't do that, but
Yes.
you do want to have relationships with
Yes.
somebody, can you do that without sex, basically, right? And just live.
Can I reach to the highest level of intimacy without sex?
I mean,
Is that a question you asked me?
not necessarily. It's more so. Do you feel like this ideal that I'm calling it an ideal, right? But this ideal where you can have relationships for decades with different people or with the same person, but not be married and sex be completely off the table. Because essentially, in like these Abrahamic faiths, right, sex before marriage is a sin. Cool. Is it possible then to have all of these beautiful things without the label of marriage, without being married?
What beautiful things?
The relationship and all of the things that you want to
Yes,
that
you
you
can
get
have
from
a
marriage.
relationship without being married.
And without the sex, I'm saying. Because the marriage with the sex goes. That's basically what I'm saying.
So if you're saying, can you have a relationship without sex? Yes, you can.
Yeah. But remember, I'm not talking about those people who are caught in 2 years, get married after 2 years. I'm talking about you do this for 30, 40 years.
Everything is possible.
Okay.
But that's not what you're asking. You're asking about the
probability and
Forget about
life. Realistic stuff.
Yeah. There's in my head is bound to be temptations to be physical if it is that you are wired that way.
All right.
I'm not trying to basically wiggle out here. I believe the majority of people would not be able to see themselves not having sex if they're spending so much time with a person. In my head, the majority of people.
Okay.
But that can't be the question you're asking me because that is water wet.
This is basically this is the reason why I brought up this topic, because I'm thinking it is an obvious thing like that. So could this message potentially be a
Deterrent.
like a troubling message?
Are you talking about from Cook?
Forget Kirk, because I don't want to attach it to
What
Kirk.
message?
I know he's not saying this, right?
Yes.
I'm basically just saying the fact about, you can be unmarried, right, and have wonderful relationships and to be fulfilled and have areas of life, all these beautiful things. That's what he's talking about. But I'm talking about the how realistic it is to basically be with someone, be so close, intimate, build with them, or whatever it may be, that one person or several people over decades without having sex. That's basically what I'm saying. That closeness. Is it possible to do that? Forget the possible. Is it probable? Is it realistic? Because if it isn't, I'm asking, is the implications of this message potentially a troubling one? Because you could potentially be leading people to try this particular thing and it lead to the very thing that we're saying is also a bad thing.
All right, so if people try this thing, which is not getting married and trying to be in a relationship without sex, it could lead to trouble? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying could it?
How?
Because then you have sex.
Yeah, but then
if it's realistic,
but you know what it is though?
If it's realistic that you end up there anyway.
But are you talking about people that are Christians, for example? Because
Yeah.
the
Within
people
a
that will
particular
hold on
faith.
to these standards
Yeah.
would be Christians.
Yes.
And Christians also know that the Bible says that if you are in a relationship and you know that this is the person you want to marry, blah, 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 and you start to face temptations about, wanting to be intimate, blah, blah, it is better for you to go and marry the person than for you to sin.
Exactly.
Do you get what I mean? So your example or the scenario that you're posing to Brent wouldn't apply to somebody who doesn't hold themselves to the moral standards of God. Because then people who don't believe in marriage are in relationships, in long-term relationships, and are having sex. Like, that happens.
People who don't say that again?
People who are not married, who don't believe in marriage, are in long-term relationships, have children, have sex.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. The message that Kirk is saying, or whoever it is that's attached to this message now, that message is not a message that's going to apply to non-Christians.
Yeah, this is about Christianity.
Exactly. So Christians know that if they're in a relationship and they are facing such temptation, blah, blah, they can get married. Christians believe that marriage is something that God wants them to do if they have the person there. So they would.
But this is what I'm getting.
It's not going to be a dilemma for them.
No, but this is what I'm getting. You won't just get married. At least the message also in the church is don't just get married because you want to have sex.
Yes, but that's the thing though. But then there's going to be a period while you're in a relationship before you then get married. So whatever it is, if say whatever you're still getting to know each other, blah 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 blah, because they know what they're in their relationship, what they're aiming to achieve at some point, marriage, that being marriage, staying not fornicating is not going to be like they can keep going and not fornicating. They can abstain from sex because they know what they're working towards. Unless it was a thing where God gave us a new law and said you're not allowed to get married anymore, but you still should be in relationships. That is when Christians would then face this dilemma. But other than that, it's not a dilemma necessary for them to face because they don't need to.
But I guess that's because, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, in your example here, you're more so saying, okay, we can see the finish line. You know what I'm saying? It's like, cool, this is what we're working towards. And we can kind of see that maybe next year, 2 years, whatever, this is the end goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going to get married together, whatever it may be. But as you already know, in this life, in this modern day society, many of us don't know the end goal. We hope for the end goal. But it's like, cool, this man hasn't shown me any signs yet. Is he being intentional? Like all these questions come up in everyday life.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily see the end goal. Some couples do. They have that intention. They planned it out, right? Engage after 6, whatever, however long. But in those relationships where this is not the case, which I think maybe the majority, it might be social media influencing me, but maybe the majority is that people don't necessarily have the intention to be like, cool, after X amount of time, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You could be just continuing. And so there isn't no something necessarily that you can basically say, you know what, cool, I'm counting down 200 days left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So where does that get you? Because if that relationship then ends, God forbid, or even if it continues, it's just still continues. There's no finish line. And like I said, if it does end, you move into somebody else, and that same sort of thing happens. Because again, this is a real thing. There are people out there who are trying to get married since they're 20 and are 40. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like in that 20-year span, are we expecting that there will be no sex at all?
Yeah, but that's the thing that how can we speak to people's individual lives that we don't know? Because again, it's about their faith. If it's a lot of things. It's about the discipline they have. It's about their faith. It's about what's important to them. Like we can't. I don't see, maybe I'm missing something, but I don't see how we can speak to the intentions of people that we don't know in scenarios that we're not a part of. No. So I think if what you're trying to say is that, is it realistic for someone, for example, to not be married for 20 years and not have sex for 20 years? Yes, it is realistic.
Say that again.
If what you're asking is that, is it realistic for someone to, for example, who's either single or in a relationship for 20 years to not have sex for 20 years? Is that realistic? Is that realistic?
Did you say if they're single? Is that what you said?
If they're single and let's just say they're not single, they're in a relationship where they're not married yet.
Yeah.
Is that realistic? If that's what you're asking, yes, everything is realistic. Because again, it will always come down to the individual. It will come down to their to their faith. It will come down to their discipline. It will come down to what it is that they want out of the relationship. It comes down. There's too many factors, because there's people that don't believe in God and are celibate as well. Their celibacy and their abstaining from sex has got nothing to do with any form of religions. None. This is just what the path they've chosen and what they want to do. So it's always going to be realistic. I don't think that, again, the message of, whether of saying that people shouldn't, about, you're not sinning if you're not getting married and blah, 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 blah. I don't think that's a message that necessarily people should be worried about, that can make people fall into sin and stuff like that. Because again, it depends on the individuals that are in the relationship and what their faith is and so many other things. I don't think it's something that we can speak to.
I think every situation could be made an individual one, right? But we're obviously generalizing, you know what I'm saying? And talking about realistic behaviors because of what we see out there, you know what I'm saying? And there's a reason why, for example, if a woman decides, I want to be celibate and wait till marriage, she may find it more, or even he, pardon me, they may both find it difficult to find people who are like-minded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I should say, may find it harder to find somebody who's like-minded than somebody who isn't. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because generally, most people, if you're together, this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what I'm talking about. It's just me saying, this is the population of people who want to carry this out. This is the population we're talking to, saying you can get married. Sorry, you don't need to get married. And it's not the sum total. And we agree. But once we walk away from this in agreement, are we now in a very constrained situation where it's like, cool, I have to watch every single step, because realistically, if I'm this close to you, we're not married, we're going to want to have sex tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And can we do this for 3 years? Can we do this for 5? Can we do this for 10 years? Can we do this for 20 years? You know what I'm saying? Because like he's saying, it's not good. It's wrong even to look at somebody who's 50, 60 years old, who's not married, and think they're unfulfilled in life. Of course it is, because there's much more to life. But if you're at that age, are we expecting them, if there was a Christian from 20, for example, to have not had sex for 40 years? That's basically what I'm saying. That's the question I'm asking.
Okay, I'm missing all of this. So, 'cause I still don't get it. But anyways, Immature Reviewer says, lying is a sin. We all lie. So F in peace. There's no hierarchy to sin.
Agreed.
Yeah. I don't agree with that. But that's,
You don't agree?
No, I don't.
Why? Which part?
I don't care enough to. I really like. What do you think I care about today? I don't care enough to express that. It's all right. We all have different opinions, and that's wonderful.
All right, cool. All right, Brent, Mars, anything else to add? Nope.
I've been reading the passages from the Bible about souls.
Turns out I was right, innit?
I think so, but no.
I think so,
but no, right? And I think it's the classification of what I deem a soul is.
I'm interested to see what you read. What the heck? Just give me an extract or something.
All right. So essentially, every living thing has a soul, right? Now this has been riveting reading, by the way. So I typed in the definition of soul, right? Sorry to basically just supplant the conversation, but I thought since we're ending anyway, if there's an opportunity for me to be proven wrong, I should posit it to you.
accountability in that.
Yeah. But if there is, let's see.
I'm standing my truth. I don't care what you're saying. I'm not accepting shit.
Could be God.
I'm not accepting shit. I've said what I've said.
You can read God's words himself.
I said what I said.
Nope. This is it. All right, cool. So the definition in the dictionary says the spiritual or immaterial part of a human being or animal regarded as immortal, right? So they have classified it as, we're not even going into insects. We're not going into germs. We're just sticking at animals, right?
Take that.
Which is interesting.
I'll take that.
In the Bible, I think it was the first link I clicked was something that, I don't know if it was Izzy or Life of Bodge, but one of those people who, I guess they're not interested in making anybody look like an idiot, but just, hey, what's hold on to that. So they put up Ecclesiastes 3, I think it's 21. Who knows if the human spirit rises upward and if the spirit of the animal goes down into the earth, right? So obviously you spoke about spirit, and you ask, are we talking about spirits or are we talking about souls? And in this particular passage, I'm guessing that's why you mentioned, are we talking about spirits, are we talking about souls, right? Very cool. Because in my head, I remember, wait a minute. God created animals first, and he created them to praise him. Everything praises God. Everything bears witness to God. Every single life force on the earth bears witness. Even the soil bears witness to God, right? But that's, for me, it's different than, all right, now you have stipulations attached to your lived experience whilst on earth. I've put I've given man power over you. Man could look after you, this, that, and next, because you're supposed to be looking after what God has created, right? It's your charge, right? And yeah, you can consume. I've told you can consume. But this line suggests that there may be some judgment If you're not reading in context.
What, on animals? Oh, because it's saying
If
whether
you're
they
not
go,
reading in
whether they
context.
go down or whether they go up.
Yeah.
Judgment.
Because it goes on to say that everything goes back to dust.
And remember, they ain't got their own free will, so that's why they're exempt.
Yeah, so I think somebody else mentioned that Sarah.
Who doesn't have free will?
The animals.
And them animals.
Why not?
Because
I feel like
the animals weren't given free will.
The animals don't have.
Yeah, go on.
The animals have like a purpose and like a role, and they live it. Like I'm saying, it's for the ecosystem and thing. They don't get up and go. Like they don't wake up and just go off their course one day. Humans can. Humans do what's not meant for them. Animals don't do what's not meant for them. From the grazing of the land to the feeding to the sleeping to their how they're on a path. They have a life cycle. They've
got their own purpose. Yes.
Yeah, salmon, born, go upstream, get catch. The salmon don't just wake up one day and say,
Yeah, their purpose is keep things moving as God intended.
Actually, no, I'm going that ends today.
Could I not ask you and say...
But in saying what you're saying, this is where I stand to say this is what differentiates us from the animals. That's why I'm coming from my point of argument. Do you understand? So when I talk about souls, I'm talking about of consequence in relation to the text and us not being judged in the same manner when it comes to our eternal or everlasting energy.
And I hear that, but I don't see why we would though be judged in the same manner as them. That's what my thing is.
And that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Just because you both got spirits or souls, why is the standard the same for both of you?
But that's why Esther was saying, what's the purpose of the soul?
Yeah.
So that's what her trying to say.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly,
cool.
yeah.
I understand the purpose of mine because I've read that this is what I'm supposed to use it for. But what's the purpose of the dog?
But I guess we don't know everything, innit?
Obviously,
So we don't know what
that's where I
yeah.
disconnected when he said, I don't know about the germs. Yes, that's all I can ask for you. That's all I can ask from you.
Yeah.
That's it. So,
Can I just add something, one thing before we thingy, please? Yeah. You see when you mentioned animals, they don't have the same free will, purpose, and all that type of stuff, right? Because obviously they just wake up and they know every day, this is what I'm doing. I'm hunting or I'm doing this, I'm grazing, whatever it may be. Couldn't one say that was man 10,000 years ago?
But before they made fire.
Yeah.
But then they decided to wake up and make fire.
But is it a case of you just waking up and making fire? Is it because you stumbled across something? In the same way, a monkey, there's certain monkeys, or let's just say a monkey at some point in time realized, wait a minute, I can climb up this tree. Let me climb up this tree. And then this became what we did because it was the best way for us to find stuff. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but all that stuff's within their means. Even the monkeys using tools and using like rocks as hammers or things like that. That's all within their means. They can do that's in their capacity, innit? You know what I'm trying to say? They don't go. That's still monkey shit. Like, it's not extra shit. Like, they're not doing different stuff.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, what about the time before it became that though? Before it became the norm for a monkey to do something? Before it became the norm for us as human beings to decide to come here and podcast?
Yeah, but we have the capacity to learn though. That's the thing, innit? And obviously animals do as well.
Exactly. It's why I said man 10,000 years ago. Before they were civilized, before we understood economics, before we understood agriculture, before we could do any of these type of things, it was just a case of, I guess, you wake up, just about having enough to cover you because it's cold.
Yeah, you can say that, but we had the autonomy and the means to get up and change that and take ourselves out of that situation for our own free will. Animals have been here with us the whole time, longer than us. They can't do that. So it's not the same. They haven't done that. They're not just going to wake up and change the situation. And in 10 million years' time, there's an animal stock market. Like, it's not going to happen.
Okay. What do you feel like they can never be taught it?
No, I just don't. It's not within their means. Not to live like us. No.
Okay.
That's not what they're created for. That's not what they're here for.
I hear you. I mean, if we had more time, I'd ask more questions. Because I feel like it might be because we're in 2024 kind of using our standard and saying this is what real civilization is. And because every other creature can't do this particular thing, it's not real civilization. That's the difference between us. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how people say, you know what, they're not civilized because they weren't writing. But for them, they didn't want to write. They just wanted to speak and learn and oral tradition. You know what I'm saying?
But they also had their own means of communication though, as well.
Yeah.
which was working for them. So it's the people coming saying that they're civilized or uncivilized. Who are you to say what's civilized and what's not if it's working for them? If they got their own means of communication. So it wasn't. I mean, I get where you're coming from.
All right
then. Let's get into more headlines.
All right, so our next headline, big trigger warning on this one, guys. A Severn Metropolitan Police officer has been charged with raping a woman. Jake Cummins, who's 23 from Hemel Hempstead, is accused of two counts of stalking and 2 counts of controlling and coercive behaviour. The charges are related to incidents allegedly involving one woman that occurred in locations in Hertfordshire. Mr. Cummins was suspended from duties with an immediate effect pending an internal investigation. The officer appeared at Hatfield Magistrates Court on Friday and has been remanded to appear at St Albans Crown Court on Tuesday. Next headline, and Algeria has inaugurated the world's 3rd largest and Africa's largest mosque. This is ahead of the holy Muslim month of Ramadan. The Algerian president, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, on Monday officially inaugurated the Grand Mosque of Algiers on the North African nation's Mediterranean coastline. It was built over 7 years in the form of a modernist structure, extending over 27.75 hectares, which is almost 70 acres, decorated in wood and marble and containing Arab and North African flourishes. It reportedly has a helicopter landing pad and a library capable of housing up to 1 million books. The vast mosque reportedly cost close to $900 million.
Hectares. I ain't heard that.
For ages, innit?
Old Testament.
But yeah, this mosque reportedly almost cost $1 billion, man, to build. And it was actually constructed by a Chinese firm. The mosque's official opening allows it to host many public prayers and events during the month of Ramadan, which starts around March 10th. And the last headline, footage from the Belgian capital shows police firing water cannons at a pile of tyres set alight by protesters. Demonstrating farmers who have driven their tractors into the heart of the city and filled streets with manure are angry at the low food prices, cheap imports and new EU environmental measures. Police are on high alert and barbed wire has been placed outside EU institutions. So yeah, long story short, that's what's going on in Brussels, man. Loads of farmers are protesting. But that's pretty much it for the headlines. Time to pay the bills.
It'd be interesting to find out who from our community comes for what part of the show, whether it's the headlines.
Listen, people are coming for stupidness. And let me never get into it, but some of you don't have to watch the show. There is no gun to your head to watch the show. If you don't want to watch the show, that's all right. You don't need to be tag teaming in the comments, talking about, oh yeah, that's why sometimes I tune out. Stay tuned out. Stay tuned out.
Who said that?
Stay tuned out.
Who said that?
Stay tuned the fuck out. Let's get into Word on Road.
Aww.
Then I'll be acting all shocked and about am I unblocked yet? Bitch ass. Don't piss me off. I'm always gonna be shady. I've always got time for foolishness. Anyways, Word on Road very quickly today because anyway. So basically, Universal Music basically they've made a major investment in Mavin Records. If you don't know, Mavin Records is a record label that is massive in the Afrobeats scene. So Mavin Records actually started as what was it called?
This is monumental.
They had so basically Mavin Records is by Don Jazzy, but before Don Jazzy, at the moment, people knew Don Jazzy with D'banj. And that was when D'banj then ended up being with like Good Music, as in Kanye West, all that kind of stuff. And then they had Wanda Cole as well. What was it called? Mo Hits. That's it. Sorry. Mo Hits. So it was called Mo Hits Records, blah, blah. And then Mavin Records, obviously Don Jazzy then ended up having a Mavin Record. So it's got, I don't know if it's still got Tiwa Savage. I think Tiwa Savage is under Rock Nation now, but they had Tiwa Savage on there, Dr. Sid, Wanda Cole, D'banj, The Prince, kind of like really big names. They've got Iris Star, they've got Laddie Poe, they've got Crayon, they've got Rema.
It's a proper roster.
Proper roster, like Don Jazzy, like he's like the godfather. Like he proper does what he needs to do anyway. But So so basically it's his record label, and they're saying that the reports are that Universal Music Group have now made a major investment. And obviously it's got mixed reviews in it. Because the way it was reported in the news was like they've got a major stake in the record label. And people are like, that's not good. It's basically going to be a takeover. It's going to be this, da. But Don Jazzy's always been a very business smart guy. Like, you don't, of all the people that you get scandals about in the music industry in Nigeria, you don't get anything about this man. Like, he's a proper mentor. He's a proper, like, he's how he presents, essentially. So I don't think that if he's making this move, because if you remember, you guys, I don't know if you remember, but basically when the band was trying to cross over, and then he did the Oliver Twist situation, and then he was signed to Good Music, they actually wanted him and Don Jazzy, but Don Jazzy was on the vibe of, let's do our own thing. Like our own, do you remember? They fell out. Remember they had a whole falling out? Because he was very much like, let's push, like the fact that the Americans are trying to tap into what we have means we've got gold here. So let's do and then he and the band separated. Even though they were the force, essentially. So they actually separated because the band wanted to go with Good Music and essentially, let the Americans have their hands in what we're doing. And John Jazzy was like, no, like, let's do what we're doing. Let's stick what we're doing and let's build what we've got. So it's amazing that he's built. Mavin Records is not a joke. Not a joke.
So question.
Yeah.
And I'm putting it to the two Africans. Not born, but Nigerians. But y'all bleed Africa a bit deeper than myself and Mags, because we're displaced, right? Tell me something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's monumental.
Yeah.
But is this good legacy-wise? Because Universal Music is and has been seen as, you thieves.
Yeah.
You just rape and pillage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So coming in now, identifying the heartbeat of where this may go, where it's currently and where it may go, and now looking at the majority stake, isn't that just more of the same?
It could be, but the stake, I don't know if they're going to have, actually, if they're invested, they're doing a major investment, it will be in it. I don't know, but I think with Mavin, it's a household name anyway. So in my mind, I'm just hoping that this is more of a business move than you're going to be like heavily involved with the workings of the business, if that makes sense.
They don't even have to be heavily involved in the workings of the business.
That's actually true.
Capital and revenue generated off the back of that for the foreseeable future is what I'm talking about.
They're going to be involved in that.
They're going to be reaping all the benefits.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's tricky. I don't know.
Does it depend on what they're bringing to the table, though?
That's the thing.
Talk to me. Because how I saw it is, let's just say New Black was built up to a certain point, and I moved in the same manner as Don Jazzy to say, if it is that they can identify that this is a sure thing, then boy, we're on the right path. And then 5 years in now, yes, it's worth billions, and they've come in to say, okay, I want 70% ownership of this. And I say, all right, here you go. For the foreseeable future, all of the revenue coming from there, it's going to go into their pockets, right?
Yeah.
And then they can decide to spend that how they wish. And it won't be to be, and I'm not saying right now my Mavin Records is pouring into the community and building out black economy. I'm not even saying that because I don't even know. I don't even know. But there wouldn't be an incentive for Universal Music Group to do that, right?
Because from what I'm seeing, it's like, I guess Universal Music Group see it as a two-way thing. For them, this is how they can then break into the Afrobeats market globally. So they're seeing, usefulness. And
are they really breaking into the Afrobeats market?
I mean, that's what
owning the actual machine.
Because what they're saying is that they said the investment provides UMG an opportunity to increase its presence. Increase its presence in Afrobeats and greater exposure to the fast-growing African market. And there's a whole bunch of statistics and whatnot, and how they want to increase the presence and da. I don't know, man. It's a bit tricky.
It's annoying, because at the end of the day, because we obviously haven't spoken to Don Jazzy, we don't know the the intricacies of the deal, right? But standing from my standpoint, I feel like it is annoying because it's like, cool, we're building this.
Yeah.
I purposely didn't join good music. I didn't do other things so that this can grow to be the monster that it is. But at the same time, I think it does depend on the person who's involved, because sometimes when you build a business, you don't really have the capital.
Yeah.
Until you sell part of your business. That may allow you to now invest in other businesses or start other businesses. So yes, for example, is it Interscope? Sorry, Universal, you said, right?
Yeah.
Universal, let's just say they take 25%. Yes, now, okay, they're taking 25%, but they only have 25% in, is it Mavin Records, yeah?
Mavin, yeah.
Mavin Records. But with that 25% now, with the capital released to me, I may be able to start 3 more Mavin Records, which is full 100% ownership, which maybe now give me the bandwidth to now sign other artists that I maybe didn't have the chance to with Mavin Records, because now I can employ other people, I can do other things. So essentially, in the next 10 years, we now have 5 Mavin Records, but Universal only has part of 1 Mavin Records, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But that may not have been possible without the deal I made with Universal. So I think it does depend on the person, depends on the overall goal. It's hard to see, to tell from where we're standing. And I won't lie, my default is, why are we selling to these bloody people? I even said we, like I'm part of it. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? So that's my default. But at the same time, I can understand if his goal is, you know what, this allows me to do more.
Yeah.
And
I think
create
that's
more Mavin Records.
Yeah, because the director, Tega, he added to the article, and he said, with our proven history of collaborations within the UMG family, we have a strong belief that they are the ideal partner for the next phase of our growth. Given the diversity and potential of our business, UMG is home to some of the world's foremost music entrepreneurs and artists, making them a perfect match for our aspirations. By collaborating with UMG, we are dedicated to cultivating a vibrant, creative environment that propels African music to new heights on the global stage. I feel like it's a using scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of vibe.
It could be. That's what we're hoping for.
I hope so, but I think just with Don Jazzy's history and the way Mavin Records has been running for years, no scandals, no nothing, like just bringing out more and more talent that goes global each time, I feel like they've done good business. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they would have done good business. Otherwise, it might be a spiritual thing.
Wait.
Listen, if this man that I've known for over how old was I? I was in year 7 when I first knew of Don Jazzy and D'banj, right? If this man that I've known from essentially all my life, I've listened to music, has always made smart business decisions, and in this one he didn't. And why you? It's the wicked people in the village.
I thought you were going somewhere else. I thought if it turned out to be like a theft thing, then the Nigerians will rise up and then send the spirits over, handle business properly.
What the hell do you think the spirits do? You want too much.
Get all the Bible out together. Get all the Bible out together.
The Marvel thing. I don't know what you think. I don't know what you think this is. Wakanda. It ain't it.
Never mind.
Goodness me. But somebody else who's not having a very good day. Diddy, right? So trigger warning of sexual assault and all sorts, man. So Diddy's got a new lawsuit. And this is actually by the producer Lil Rod. You guys know Lil Rod?
Nope.
Rodney Jones, that's his name. Basically what he's saying, cut a long story short, he's saying that Diddy subjected him to a year of groping and constant unsolicited touching of his anus.
What?
Yeah. He also says that basically Diddy forced him. He said basically everything that we've been hearing that Diddy allegedly been doing, essentially is that. He said made him, I guess, what's the word? What do you do when you go and gather prostitutes? Solicit. Solicit, that's it.
Anus is the whole part, right?
Yeah, man.
Why would I know? I'm joking, yes I do.
I'm trying to
you can say it up when your finger up.
I'm trying to picture it.
Ew, you don't want to do that.
No, as in just
I hear you, like,
wow, that's mad.
Yeah, apparently.
As opposed to just, squeeze the bum.
Well, he was doing squeezing his penis because he was groping him. When you grope the private part, innit?
What's going on with
This is
with these
crazy.
Is this true though? Because This is so disgusting.
Get on my nerves today.
No, because this is
So
despicable.
because it sounds so mad. But that's the thing, because actually it's funny, because when I was reading this earlier this morning before you arrived, I said, is there people that actually don't believe Diddy must have done all these things? My brain said, yeah, probably people are.
No, it is. As if it is though. I'm hoping it's fake.
It can't be. Do you know how many cases, do you know how many lawsuits it is fighting?
No, but do you know
It's not just Cassie. It's not just... this is mad now.
Because now I was seeing very, very different. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible.
But you know what's mad though? But do you know what I think has been so interesting about all these things, yeah? Is that there are people, like in the industry, there's always been whispers about Diddy. Like there's always been whispers about Diddy. So I don't know why people never saw him any differently anyway.
I guess so, but...
Because even the people that have been closest to him, even his bodyguards, like, it's just... The number of people that are speaking about him is mad. But the guy also said that he was ordered to recruit prostitutes and have sex with them for Diddy's pleasure. Remember, again, we found out through Cassie that allegedly he just liked watching people do these things. And then he said that there's hundreds of hours of videos of Diddy documenting like serious illegal activity, all that kind of stuff. So it's basically all that kind of stuff that's going on, essentially. Of course, Diddy's team have denied it, as they would, saying that it's, it's pure fiction and the guy's just after a payday and whatever. Anyways, cut long so Stevie J entered the chat. Basically, the guy is saying that Diddy forced him to watch a video of Stevie J allegedly sexting a white guy. And the screenshots of allegedly a person that they say could be Stevie J in these scenarios, in these situations, basically.
No.
Obviously, Stevie J's denied it because Stevie J's thinking, now why am I in it? Like, first of all, to leave me the hell alone. And I think it's very cheeky. Do you know, I think it's very cheeky because in the document here, there's 3 rappers' names here. The other 2 are redacted. Stevie J's name is in capital. I think that's so out of order.
Can you imagine?
I think that's so out of order. They literally were like, oh, somebody he watched videos with redacted and Stevie J. And I said that's out of order. Like, why would you? And I think given the situation of it, unless he's saying that Stevie was like also doing crazy things, if it's a thing where Stevie was also in a vulnerable situation, I don't think it's fair to put his business out there like that. That might not be something that he wanted to talk about or wanted to revisit or wanted to live through again, kind of thing. So it's out of order, man. But Stevie, of course, is denying it and saying that he is not that man. That's not him. So that's what Diddy is dealing with again. His lawyers continue to say that it's all false and all denying it. Anyway, yeah. Also, as well, sorry, the guy also alleged that, Young Miami entered the chat too, also alleged that he faced sexual harassment from Young Miami's cousin as well. Anyway, I hope that girl just removes herself expeditiously from this man, because, girl. And obviously, Academics bitch ass is over there talking about, oh, the podcast is definitely ended now. Can't save some people, man. Never can. But anyway, that's what's happening on Diddy's front lawn. That's what he's going through this morning or this day. But the lawsuit has been, it's not something that just came out of nowhere. They've been prepping it and they've been doing, like, it's been in the works for a while, essentially. But the lawsuits, I've lost count of how many lawsuits are currently against Diddy for all these sexual harassment, sexual assault, drugging, all these alleged stuff. Like, I've actually lost count. It's mad. So there's that. And obviously Wendy Williams as well. I've been talking about Wendy Williams for a few days now. Her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, decided to put a statement out. And I just think sometimes, yeah, like, okay, so in the, what's it called? In the documentary, her nephew was saying how, like, her uncle might not, as in Wendy's ex-husband, might not be the best person in the world, but he was like, he always made sure that Wendy showed up to all the commitments that she had on time and sober. Obviously, one would take that with a pinch of salt, considering there was cases of alleged... Sorry?
And he was benefiting.
I mean, he was stealing from her, but there's also alleged abuse, where members of the staff, they actually had to, like, the network actually had to hire security, like personal security for her.
To keep her from him?
Yeah, because he was a manager at the time. It was a whole thing. So basically, when she fired him as a manager after the planning divorce, they had to do it strategically because of his alleged, history, essentially. He did say that. I mean, Wendy loved the guy in it, so it's a shame. But the nephew said that he always made sure that Wendy was everywhere she needed to be, all the commitments, whatever, and sober and whatnot. So essentially, he had a good work ethic and whatnot, but whatever. So anyways, he then decided that he's going to speak out against all the stuff that's happening. And what he said, he posted it and deleted it. I like to stand on business, but anyway, here we are. He says, okay, so everyone heard F. Kevin through the docuseries. No problem. The show took precedent over everything, including family. What I guess they left out was that while she was in Florida getting recovery 3 years ago, there were the secret calls her sister would set up with Debmar Mercury, with false pretense that she would be getting the show back. So basically, when Wendy's show got dropped, she didn't know her show got dropped. She was in Florida trying to get better, and the people that were running her show had taken up her props and put Sherry Shepherd in the slot, put the slot in there. So she had no clue that her show had actually been cancelled. Like, her niece was the one who said she actually had to be the one to tell her, like, no, your show's done. And even then, like, Wendy was kind of like in denial of, like, after 13 years, there's no way it just ended like that. And so she was saying how it took months for her to, get with it, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so he said that, there was 3 years ago, there were secret calls her sister would set up with Debmar Mercury with false pretense that she would be getting her show back. That was a lie and broke shit more than anything. They only were trying to get her there to satisfy an insurance claim so they could obviously replace losses and the money that they were stealing, and they want to control. Her sister was trying to get ultimate control herself and was medical proxy at the time, but naivety allowed her only to be played, and once she got back to New York, they kicked her sister out and she spiraled worse. I was involved at the time. I'll be honest with you, I don't really care. I don't know what he's saying either, because in my mind, it sounds as though he's trying to say that, yeah, I may have stolen some money. Yes, I bought my side chick a house and a car and had a baby with her with Wendy's money, but so was everybody else. So it sounds like we're all like, he's just like Spider-Man meme. He's like, yeah, if I did it, everyone else did it as well. I don't know. Don't know, don't care. I just hope that Wendy can get the help. I hope that, because basically there's also theories that people are saying that they think that they let the documentary air so that she can get public, so that something can happen. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully can like kind of, so they can say, I guess so the court can see that the guardian that they appointed her is actually not involved in anything, because that woman is not, that person is nowhere to be found. That third party that they put there is nowhere to be found. So people are basically saying that they think that hopefully this, on Wendy's team side, this is kind of strategic for people to know how serious the situation is. There have been friends, a couple of her celebrity friends have spoken out. I know Don Lemon did over the weekend as well. And he basically said that there's no way that Wendy in her right mind would have ever proved this. He said when she came to my house and we're always chilling together, she never took her wig off. So why on earth Wendy would want people to see her with a wig off? And I know it sounds like a very silly little thing, but I even said this yesterday. No one's seen Wendy without her wig. But here we are, seeing her without her wig. And there was another guy as well, he's also got a show, and he basically said how, that he said he also saw Wendy at one point, and the way her situation, her health has just gone downhill is definitely a cause for alarm, and people need to be investigated and looked into. And I hope all of this stuff with the show and stuff will actually make that happen, because that's just mad, man. Working all those years and all that stuff, like, the reason why the girls can have talk shows and stuff like that today is because of Wendy. Like, being a legend like that and then having to go out this way, it's mad. Very, very mad. Very sad. But yeah, that's all there is for me today anyway. See what foolishness there is tomorrow. Let's get to People's Journal. Come in.
All right, people, welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. So I won't spend too long on this. Let me start with the most inconsequential stuff. Basically, Ryanair's chief executive, Michael O'Leary, has predicted that their tickets may be 10% more expensive compared to last year. When's the last time you guys went on holiday and used Ryanair?
What did I fly with last year? Maybe last year, I think.
Okay.
Because the short trips are always one of them.
Like the Europe
Them EasyJet,
stuff.
yeah.
I think when I went Burna Boy concert, might have been right there.
Okay. Well, you may have to start factoring the extra 10%, man, because basically apparently there's problems with the aircraft at Boeing and Airbus. Huh?
There's problems with the aircraft.
Yeah.
With the actual vehicle.
No. Just the problems are basically being sorted by the ones who make them, Boeing and Airbus. Basically,
Okay.
Yeah. And so there's more money having to sort everything out.
Oh, okay, so we're paying for the repairs.
Basically,
Now we meant, oh.
So there's less available as well. There's less aircrafts available as well.
Okay, I was going to
So
say.
all of that stuff is the reason why, the average fare may go up. That's just that, to bear that in mind. Next thing I wanted to mention is, guys, be prepared that you may start seeing adverts from Labour, Conservatives, far more than you are currently, basically. What they're saying is these two main political parties, they actually spent 10 times more than this time last year on adverts. Obviously, this is going to be down to what's going on with the elections, which may happen at the end of the year. So basically they're spending a lot on social media, man, to basically get you guys prepared for what's going to be coming soon. And in relation to that, Keir Starmer basically has outlined his desire to run, these are his words, a more patriotic economy. So what he's trying to do is basically boost home ownership and also create the next generation, again his words, the next generation of new towns in the country if Labour wins the election. So again, he said living standards have plummeted, as has the traditional British belief that if you work hard, it pays. For too many people, a higher wage is beyond reach and buying a home has become a fantasy. You know what I'm saying? He said the Tory party's economic choices run completely against those values. Meanwhile, their promises on levelling up are empty. The Tories aren't just betting the house, they're betting yours. You know what I'm saying? So he's basically saying, look, we're going to put more money into making sure these things get sorted out. Where is the figure that he said? I can't remember now. The Labour housing, the party said it will now spend 23.7 billion on environmental schemes over the course of its first term in office, equivalent to just under £5 billion a year, in a move that was strongly criticised by environmental campaigners. So remember I spoke before about how they wanted to put a lot of money into the whole green environmental stuff, right? But how they kind of reneged on that a bit and they're putting less money. So I think some of that money, what they're saying is they're going to put into the housing sector, making sure some of these things are just a bit more easier or more attainable for the average citizen in the country. Of course, the Tories came out. Lee Rowley, who's a housing minister, he came out and basically said, look, this is just empty promises. This is just an empty announcement. And this is basically proof that Labour really has no plan. You know what I'm saying? He said this is the same Labour Party who blocked 100,000 new homes and whose deputy leader is engulfed in a fresh scandal over claims that she deprived families of social housing by playing the system. Labour has no plan for housing and no plan for the economy. Their 2030 decarbonisation promise, which they themselves said costs £28 billion, would mean back to square one and higher taxes for working people. So again, he's come back and hit them with a counter. So we're going to see, man, who's really telling the truth and who has a real plan for the economy. The last thing I wanted to mention is just that I believe it was sometime last year when this whole warm home discount was put out there. I mentioned that, guys, if you feel like you're eligible for this, make sure that you apply. Long story short, what I'm trying to say is you've got 2 more days. If you are eligible, you've got 2 more days to apply. And basically in the scheme, you get basically £150 off of your electricity bill for the winter. So this runs from October to March every year. And so, so you've only got a few more days till March comes. And so that's when you will no longer be able to claim. Gosh. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
That's crazy.
So just to check for TDA listeners in England or Wales, you could qualify if you receive the guaranteed credit element of pension credit. So again, for your parents, grandparents out there who get pension credit, if they get the guaranteed credit element, they may be eligible. And also if you yourself are on a low income and have high energy costs, you may also be eligible as well. You don't get the £150 like in cash or whatever straight into your account. It actually comes off of your bill, you know what I'm saying? But again, if you're eligible, make sure you do. You've only got 2 days left, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the People's Journal.
All right, let's get into some asking for a friend. Is this two separate things or same one? Because what's the yellow text?
I think it's the same.
Okay, let me
Two
just
separate. Two separate.
Oh, two separate. Okay, so first one.
Oh.
Hi TDA fam, I hope you're doing well. I have a quick question for you lot. Mainly for the women in the room, but all can contribute and it doesn't have to be topic of the day. I was at the salon the other day and a lady was talking about how she believes black men that mainly date outside their race don't really have game because she doesn't know how much of the end result is down to her fetishization or jungle fever. So a black man with a non-black woman. She was suggesting the end results don't really mean the guy has game. It's just that non-black women fancy a lot of black men and black men find it easier to start a romantic relationship with non-black women, especially if society deems a black man as average. Thoughts? Do you think that black men that date outside their race don't lack game?
I don't think that's necessarily the case.
Nah, not necessarily. Because there's guys that date in the race that lack game.
So what she's saying that they date outside the race because they don't have game.
Yeah, it's in the lack game, and also sometimes it's down to the fetishization.
I think
fever.
they don't have to do much. To take the stance opposite what you're saying, I think they don't have to do much.
What, to get women outside their race?
Those women who fetishize black men.
Oh yeah, they don't have to do much for those ones.
What,
But
are you talking about like what kind of black? Like, are you talking about like men that are not good looking or something? Just black?
I don't know if that's the first question. I think
'Cause she said
the
that-
second question is
Yeah, because they're average. But I think on your stance, on your opinion, I think if they know that if there's a woman, a non-black woman that loves a black man, the black man doesn't have to do much.
Yeah, but if there's a
works
black
both
woman,
ways.
if there's a black woman that loves a black man, the black man don't have to do much.
But the question isn't.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, cool. That's fine. But the question isn't to that. The question is about the non-blacks, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so
non-black men.
what are you saying? It's a lack of game while they're doing it.
Yeah, so black men mainly date outside their race don't really. The black men that mainly date outside their race don't really have game.
I don't know. I think this is more to do with just black women trying to understand or trying to get their head around why black
To
men.
get closure.
Yeah, because this is all ridiculous. Like,
That's
whatever
not
the
trying to
reasons
get
are,
closure.
What is
That's
it?
trying to insult.
They're trying to insult.
That's trying to insult.
Me saying that they're trying to get
No,
close.
you
that
said
per-
that the black women are trying to get closure.
Oh, but they're not. You say they're trying to insult.
Yeah, I think there's a. Oh, you're rejecting me. You ain't got no game anyway, and you understand?
I think so. I think it's both.
They're just trying to find. They're just trying to find.
think it's
I think they're
both.
just trying to find answers. You know,
'Cause sometimes,
the
yeah.
suggestions are stupid. A lot of the suggestions are stupid. They're just trying to find. They just don't get it. They just. I don't think she even cares whether she's got game or not. I think she's just looking for
Because she's
answers.
also saying that the non-black women they're dating, then she's also assuming that they've got some kind of fetish for black men or jungle fever. So it's a bunch of assumptions, and I think it's to make yourself feel better,
And it's always one-sided. How come the black men could be fetishizing the women of other color?
and they do.
All right. So I see what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
Is there validity in it?
I think. But again,
Two things can be true.
that's the thing, and I
true.
think that's my thing. So kind of similar to the topic of the day, it's difficult to speak to people's intentions that you don't know because there's different factors that play for different people. There's people that are with non-black women, and there is genuine love there. There's no unhealthiness. There's no toxicity. It's just genuine love. They found love in someone who's non-black, but then there's people who it is a fetish for them. So I think it's difficult to speak to it.
If you're the prize, then obviously it's going to be easier for you to, like, when you're going on your conquest, it's going to be easier if you're the prize, isn't it? But I don't know if it necessarily speaks to a man having game because they like, or having lack of game because they like dating out of their race.
I mean, some do as well, but I think it applies to. It's not. I don't think it's a one and done answer.
It can't be because there's quality in it. Like,
Yeah.
It's got to be a lack of game. If you're just dating out of your race and it's just all bottom of the barrel, low level, meaty gal, then there might be something to it.
I think
But
it's what Brent.
if it's top tier things, don't matter that out of your race. You're talking about game. You need game to get top gal. You need game to get pen gal. So if you're dating out of your race, whether it be Asian women, white women, whatever, but it's all pen things you're dealing with and top tier things, you can't be telling me I ain't got no game because they're not black. Again, it's just you're just being insulting. You're just insulting again. You know what I'm trying to say?
Question. Obviously, you are a seasoned man, a seasoned veteran in this game.
No, you're nodding. It's so annoying. He didn't know he was doing it. He was just like, yeah, I sure am.
Do you need the same wavy credentials to bag the wavy women outside of black women?
Yeah, because I think if you're going into the top tier women, you need to be,
Is that accurate based on your seasoned history?
Yeah, I mean, some man got dumb luck and they stumbled across things. Some people end up in situations I don't know how they end up in, but for the most part,
Yeah,
you need to be proper if you want proper things, isn't it? You know what I'm trying to say? That. So that's again, I don't think it speaks to a lack of credentials or anything like that.
and game here, you're speaking about your aura, your presence, your reputation, what precedes you, blah 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 blah. It doesn't necessarily mean you've approached in your speech, because you probably don't have to say a thing to get top tier white chicks.
I mean,
Because everything's already out there. Get me archived.
I've got to use some words.
I got to show up a little.
It's got to shop a little.
Okay.
You know,
That's
razzle
just
dazzle.
it's natural for you. Presentation, right? Your mother told you don't walk out the house because you're representing me anyhow. You get me?
There you go.
Fair enough. What's the
Yeah,
second one?
I think it's definitely different depending on who you're talking to, because again, you couldn't project that onto me. You get me? Whatever the excuses you want to make up for white men date outside their races or whatever they're lacking in or whatever, you can't project that onto me. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I'm not desperate. I'm not coming from a place of desperation here. Do you get what I mean?
I don't need this.
So yeah, like two things can be true at the same time, but it's not all across the board. So maybe there are circumstances where that is the case.
I think there are, but then I don't think it's like I don't think we can ever generalize and be like, this is why all black men date, or this is why all black women date outside their race and
You can have
stuff.
fun with it.
Of course, true fashion. That's what makes a debate show. All right, and if you want to add another sub-question to that, do you think non-black women are more accepting of average black men than black women are? Okay. This is kind of what you said.
Yeah.
She said, sorry, through my observation and my experiences, a lot of black women say they like black men that are tall, dark, and handsome.
Go on, just keep reason.
Sorry. I'm going to question all of this now. I'm going to question all of this. Black women ain't never said they wanted tall, dark, and handsome. Okay. Through my observation and my experiences, a lot of black women
I think someone's trying to infiltrate the culture.
Bro! They let it slip, man.
I said not on my watch.
Can you imagine? Through my observation and my experiences, a lot of black women say they like black men. I feel like it's a black man that doesn't get black women. That's what I think. That's actually, because this tall, dark, and handsome is wild. I can't even read it. My fourth attempt. All right, let's try again. Through my observation and my experiences, a lot of black women say they like black men that are tall, dark, and handsome. And to be honest, majority of black men don't fit that criteria. Side note, okay, it's a woman. My husband definitely does.
Stop the cap.
Stop the chat, BFFR.
That ain't it, y'all. Looking at it with hindsight, in you lot's opinions, is it easier for the average black man to look outside their race because there is less chance of rejection as they don't fit the tall, dark, and handsome mark?
Yeah, but I don't understand because even the way she's referring to them, the average black man, you're talking about them like they're lesser than, innit? Yeah. So this is man that you don't even want anyway. I hear that, but this is man.
I think her
why
man
are you
is
so
actual
caught up?
tall, dark, and handsome,
But
as in the white version. I don't think it's a black man.
The problem for me is why are you so caught up on what these black men are doing and you don't even want them? Because the way you're talking about them, you're looking down and talking about these average black men and these lesser black men. This is man that you don't even want anyway.
You talking about the poster, the original poster, the person sent the email?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Let's forget about that girl.
No, but she said that.
She's got a man, right? Tall, like a handsome.
Yeah, but she said this is a conversation she heard. Wherever she in the salon or something like that.
Relaying it, right? She's
relaying it.
And I agree.
Agree what?
I agree that black women, they require more visually. And the standards are higher than the ones outside of this race. I believe. I 100% believe.
Is that what you're thinking she's talking about when she's talking about average? Is it just looks?
No, I think it's in general.
I think
even so, it's even if it's not just looks, it's the whole pack. You're still referring to them as that, whether it be your earnings, your aura, your look. It's still a diminishing term. Like you're still.
But it is. But we know this. we could put ourselves in that particular boat and answer the question.
Okay.
Isn't average just normal? Like you're normal.
I was going to say,
Regular
because
regular folk.
Average doesn't have to be
An insult.
Whatever.
bad
Meaty's
thing.
mediocre. You don't go crazy about it.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, are
don't be
you
calling man
feeling triggered?
average.
Who, me?
Yeah.
How?
See? You see what I done there?
You're annoying.
I'm basically saying it doesn't have to be
you're a fool.
a bad thing, innit?
No, man over there. Sorry, not you.
I'm saying the average doesn't have to be
I was
a bad
cussing him
thing.
for you. Sorry.
I didn't even know you.
Oh, no, it's fine. I just said it with an egg.
Average doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Yeah,
She
I
doesn't
don't
sound
think
like she's using it in.
It
in
is a bad thing in
good-
this context.
In this context, doesn't sound like she's promoting, like she's
Yeah.
saying, talking positively about them.
I think everyone just focus on your focus and go for the man you want, man.
Oh, I hear that. That's the resounding thing, but I still think she's correct. I think I think that person who said that is correct.
The black women don't go
What,
for
the average man, average black man. What's she saying? Like they go out of it. It's easy.
It's easier for him to get women
out of his
outside
race.
of the race than the ones that he started in, the community in which he started.
you know what's so
Probably,
interesting
but that would make sense because again, obviously, I don't know how they're using the term, yeah. But the way that you're using the term, you're talking like the man's lesser than anyway. So he's not gonna be in the same dating pool. He can't even get you. So he has to go out of his race. The way you're talking about, you're not talking about top
wants
tier.
love,
You're talking about top tier black man. You're talking about these average man. You're looking at them, shunning them like they got, like they're lepers. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
lepers.
No, but that's how it's coming across.
Maybe in the biblical
so,
times,
probably,
anyway.
so maybe they have to go outside their race, and then they're accepted, and they're gonna be higher valued because of their black skin. So in their community, they're seen as average, but out of it, they're black kings.
100%.
So when
You know what I'm trying to say?
so do you guys believe the average black woman? When I say average black woman, I don't mean average in this context. I mean like your typical normal black woman is with a wavy black guy.
No, but she
I've
desires
seen hella
a
charity
wavy
cases
black
around.
guy. She thirsts after a wavy black guy. So she might overlook the average black man.
Man said I've
Yeah, but
seen
they're not
hella
with them,
charity
though.
cases. See, this is what the problem is as well. So the black women look at us, how they see us, like, and then you don't value the black man anyway. You talk about hella charity cases.
The ones that are charity cases deserve to be called charity cases. I'm talking about the bums. I'm talking about the ones that bring nothing to the table and then come to the table with nothing and then add stress and disdain and just pure stress to the matters. I'm not talking about a normal guy who's working hard and providing and doing whatever he's doing with his life. I'm talking about bums, like the bums that bring nothing to the table and on top of it have the audacity to be cheating and be disrespectful and be abusive and be all these things and misogynistic, all these things. Those are charity cases.
Yeah, those bums would probably have good willy or have some sort of CV that is favourable.
I want us to move from that as a society.
In that particular woman's eye.
I want us to move from that.
I see that all the time.
As a people, we need to move from that. That's just
Yeah, but here we
sleeping
are.
with a legion, talking about he's got good dick. That's what it comes down to.
Is that what?
Anyway.
This is mad. So Jerome said, the black men I know that struggle to get women date exclusively out of their race. It didn't help.
Who said that?
Jerome saying that. There's still the man you know that struggle to get gal. Like, they're not
But you know what it
flourishing. It didn't, so they struggle to get gal regardless. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Is that making sense what I'm saying?
Do you know what? I think there is a lower standard. Not lowest. I don't want to say lower standard for lack of a better word. I think some black men, obviously not all, keep your thongs together. Some black men that date outside their race have to do less. Like they don't have to do as much, or they don't have to do as they would have had to do to date within their race, as they do other people. That's what I will say. That the bar is low in general anyway with dating, but it can be raised for you a little bit depending on where you go.
Can I ask a question? Is it because of quality?
Make myself laugh.
Is it because of quality, or is it because a man that dates out of his race, typically, if he's successful, not successful in life, successful in getting that girl outside of his race, she is somebody who also wants to be with somebody
Out of her race. But sometimes she just wants a black man, so she don't even, and she's not, because she's not in black world, she don't know the levels.
That's what I'm saying.
So she don't even know that she's got a meaty black man.
This is exactly what I'm saying.
She's just a black geek as far as because she don't know the
and
levels.
any who's available, I'm gonna choose the best from them.
You know
And
what?
that's why I
They're
said
right.
they have to try less.
A lot of black men that like properly date outside the race that are in like not just like
properly.
no, but not just dabbling, like
Not like a little toe.
not just chopping, but I'm talking like properly going making homes with them Asian gal and a lot of them are meaty.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, they can't hack
But the
it.
guys.
Yeah.
They can't hack it in the in the playground. 100%.
Couldn't handle the heat. They left the
100%.
kitchen.
Couldn't take the seasoning.
She might be right, you know.
After all that.
It's a thing. it's a thing. And I don't see it abating anytime soon.
No.
Because it's intensified.
Because I think it's only getting worse.
Because you gotta go where the love is.
That's
You gotta go where the love is, man.
Talk to Emmanuel. No, wait. That was different. Wait.
That was wild. That was-
What he's
that was
what
wild.
is what you wait, let me just
Okay,
clarify.
you're laughing a bit too hard.
Yeah.
You're not helping.
Let me get it the way you thought I took it, right? Emmanuel's always saying fight for the love within. Do you understand? That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, with you.
So you're saying no. Don't stress.
Go where the love
Go
is.
where the love is.
Go where the
Go
love is.
outside. And
Life's too
Queen
short.
of BOE, she's like,
Yeah, she wouldn't expect any less from me anyway.
Of course not. She's watching this and then you are who you are. That's what sis is saying. But everyone go where your love is, man. Stop worrying about the next person. Anyways, if you want to send your dilemmas in, as always, the number is 075-6484-1073, or you can email the day after at thenewblack.com. Let's get into our last headlines, please.
All right, people. So our last headline, bit of sad news, man. Trigger warning. A 54-year-old man from North Wales has been found dead on his boat during an attempt to row across the Atlantic Ocean. So Michael Holt from, I cannot pronounce this, Porthmadog, he left Gran Canaria on 27th of January with the goal of reaching Barbados in the Caribbean and basically help two charities, right? But some 700 miles in, Mr. Holt, who had type 1 diabetes, fell ill. He was later found dead in his cabin by the crew of a fishing vessel that had sailed to his aid. Before beginning his voyage, Mr. Holt said that he expected it to take between 50 and 110 days. He anticipated having to row for over 16 hours a day and living off just 4 hours of sleep. He was traveling alone on his ship named Mianad, and he had no helicopter or boat helping him, but he was in contact with a company that was tracking his progress. Michael's death was announced in a statement made by his brother David Holt on Facebook. Next headline: and a flight attendant was forced to tackle an unruly passenger to the ground mid-air and restraining with cable ties. So there's a video there, but you can play it if you want to. But basically, the incident is thought to have occurred on an Emirates flight from Dubai to Islamabad on Sunday morning. This according to a Pakistani journalist who published the footage online. The man was alleged to have been drunk and extremely violent. In the footage, the man can be seen attempting to headbutt a male member of the flight crew before being pushed to the floor with the assistance of another. A female flight attendant can then be seen passing them a pair of cable ties commonly used by airlines to restrain potentially violent passengers. There it is. Okay, right, that's loading.
I hear when videos buffer. Gets on my nerves. Oh.
Okay, whilst that's loading, I'll go on to the next one. Next one, big trigger warning. And a murderer who led a man to his death and live streamed the killing of a cat months before has been jailed for a minimum of 24 years. So this is a guy who basically was inspired by Netflix cat killer show.
You got 24 years for killing a cat?
No, he killed a man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Scarlett Blake, he hit Jorge Martin Carreno before pushing him into the River Cherwell in Oxford in July 2021. Prosecutor Alison Morgan KC said Blake found sexual gratification from the thought of violence and the thought of death. She previously told jurors Mr. Carreno, who is a Spanish national working at the mini plant in the city, had been on a night out drinking with colleagues after COVID restrictions had been lifted. He later became separated from his friends and possibly became lost before having the great misfortune of bumping into Blake. The court heard that she hit him over the head, attempted to strangle him, then pushed him into the river where he drowned. Blake had already admitted a criminal damage charge in relation to the cat. The court previously heard how the 26-year-old came to the UK from China at age 9 and came out to her parents as transgender at age 12. Juror was told how Blake, who's formerly known as Alice Wang, had an extreme interest in death and harm, which went beyond mere fantasy. She was found guilty of murder at Oxford Crown Court last Friday. Her trial heard that she had been on the streets looking for potential victims. Imagine. And that's it for the headlines. Time to pay the bills.
All right, let's get into the reaction.
to the reaction, people. I read your sports headlines. Not a lot here today. There was football on last night, though, innit? Monday Night Football, which I definitely missed. So, Jarrod Bowen scored a hat-trick as West Ham belatedly picked up their first win of 2024 with a crushing 4-2 victory over Brentford at the London Stadium on Monday Night Football. It is a result that emphatically ends a run of 6 games without a win for David Moyes' side, with their last on December 28th, and one that means the Bees remain at the heart of the relegation battle with 12 games to play. Bowen scored his first of the night and first in the league since December 23rd inside 5 minutes and ghosted into the box to guide home a second less than 2 minutes later. Neil Maupay half the deficit shortly afterwards, but when Bowen completed his treble, his first in senior football, after the break and Emerson fired home a power driver, the game was put beyond Brentford, who have now shipped 9 goals in their last 3 games. The Bees did manage to pull another one back through Yoan Wissa, but did not spark the comeback of the epic proportions they required. West Ham move up to 8th as a result of their first Premier League win over Brentford, who stayed down in 16th, 5 points above 18th place Luton, where they dropped to after Everton's 10-point deduction was reduced to 6 on the appeal earlier on in the day. But I think Everton are going to lose. They're still bracing themselves to lose more points again, though. I don't know what's going on over there. There's weird stuff going on. They're in more trouble, innit?
I think so, man.
So they appealed that one, but I think they've got more coming off. It's all a joke over there. Also with Brentford, I thought Brentford was going to be a sure thing to stay up, even with Tony going. But I think a lot of them injuries started taking their toll on them a bit when he was gone, innit? But then again, I swear it's more the fall off dropping coincided with him coming back. I know he scored most of the games, but then there was a little drop off just before he came back, and they ain't fully got it together. They're in. Do you think they can get relegated?
I don't think so. They should have enough, man.
They should, innit? Brentford should be cool, innit?
Enough,
Yeah, Brentford should be cool. Okay, cool. And in our last sports headline that we got, Canelo to leave PBC and return to DAZN. That's how you say it, innit?
Canelo.
No, DAZN.
DAZN,
yeah. Canelo Alvarez eyeing return to Eddie Hearn in a deal that could see him fight Edgar Berlanga and Jamie Munguia instead of David Benavidez and Terence Crawford. It was expected that Alvarez would return to the ring on Cinco de Mayo weekend in May as part of his lucrative free-fight deal with the PBC that he signed in 2023. Hearn worked with Canelo in the past, but he isn't currently promoting the Mexican. However, a report from ESPN Mexico correspondent Salvador Rodriguez has indicated that the undisputed champion will instead ink a new deal with Matchroom Boxing and DAZN, which could see him face Edgar Berlanga and Jamie Munguia. He tweeted, "Everything indicates that it won't be fights with Charlo Benavidez or Crawford, or even under the PBC banner for Canelo. And the plan for fights against Edgar Berlanga and Jamie Munguia with Eddie Hearn has instead been activated for the third-time world champion." Are they fights people want?
Not really. Everyone wants Canelo and Benavidez.
So why is he doing this for?
Is this why people are saying he's ducking him, man? They're saying Canelo's ducking Benavidez. Because I'll be honest with you, and maybe this is why I'm not a professional boxer, innit? Because if I'm Canelo, I'm not fighting Benavidez anymore. Not at this point in my career. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to be fair, yeah, I feel like it's because of the precedent other professional fighters have done, like Floyd, for example, who at the end of his career kind of just wanted easier fights. Because why do you still need to prove stuff when you're bloody 38? Canelo's not 38. Canelo's still young, to be fair, but he has been boxing since he was 15 professionally. So he's had a long professional career, and I think he kind of wants to retire in the next few years. So why take on this fight? But again, me saying that is a problem with boxing. You know what I'm saying? If you are the champion, which Canelo is, he's undisputed. He has all the belts at 168. You need to fight Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? I believe in March, Benavidez is going to be mandatory for the WBC.
Okay.
Now Benavidez has had to move up to 175. He's going to be fighting, I can't remember this other guy, at 175 because he can't be waiting around for Canelo. Fight Benavidez. That's it. Or give up the belt. And if you give up the belt, everyone knows that you ducked him. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the best. But Canelo's also, I guess the other argument is also that Canelo because obviously he's probably the most popular boxer there is in the world, right? He's got a deal with PBC where it's like, I get a guaranteed minimum for every fight. Well, certain fights anyway. I think it's every fight. And basically that's 35 million. So if you can't guarantee me 35 million, I'm going to leave. And to be fair, he did this before when he sued Oscar De La Hoya when he was working with Golden Boy. Give me my minimums that we agreed to or I'm leaving. And I think that's what he's doing. PBC don't want to give him 35 million to fight Charlo. And to be fair, nobody wants you to fight Charlo. We want you to fight Benavidez. So if we give you the 35 million, fight Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? But I think his argument is, it's just about the money. This is the contract. Give me the 35 mil and then we can talk. So, I think that's the back and forth. So now he's going to move over to DAZN, potentially, if this is real. And the only people on DAZN, really, is Munguia and Berlanga at 168. And those are who, he could fight. To be fair, him fighting Munguia is a good fight. Him fighting Berlanga is always everyone's time. Berlanga knocks everybody out. But he's young, he's inexperienced. He fought on the weekend against some Irish guy called McCrory, I believe. And he knocked him out in is it the 7th round? 5th or the 7th round? I can't remember. But either way, he knocked him out, and that was what he was meant to do. But he does not deserve a fight with Canelo. No chance. Munguia is another Mexican, but he's a serious boxer as well. But again, he's young, and on paper, Canelo should win that as well. But it will be competitive, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, nobody wants these fights. People want Canelo and Benavidez. That's all people want at 168. And to be fair, you need to do that because you have every belt. You're fighting for belts and money. And you can't just be holding up the belts. To be fair, the Bulls need to strip him. And I'm a big fan of Canelo. But this is not about the individual. It's about the sport of boxing. And if you're going to keep holding on to belts, not fighting people, you're messing up the sport. People won't take you serious. This is how everyone move over to bloody MMA. So yeah, that's it pretty much.
Okay then, well, that's that on that. Clearly nobody didn't hear my call yesterday. Let's get into outro.
You ain't done the zoo one, have you?
That one is terrible. We
look annoyed. That was terrible.
And we spoke about don't you remember this when this came up? Like it was almost a year ago. We done something on this in
There was an article, I think.
It was an article or something. We done something on this. We talked about is it real people or not? We was laughing at them and all that.
Okay.
I don't even know what inspired you to bring this back up.
No, could be a joke.
It could have been something like this, isn't it? I don't even know what inspired you to bring it back up.
Maybe I forgot. That's why. Because in my head I was thinking, this is funny, man. If you look at how they look, I was like, what? These Chinese people are just mocking everybody now. But
do you think they're humans? Brent, should we run through this quickly?
They definitely have souls.
Brent, how did you know?
I'm going
how did you know?
Going to the outro.
How did you know?
Going to the outro.
That was a bad
Go
word to say.
to the outro.
You did this. You. Okay, Brent, 2 for 2. I was about to say that too. Listen, ask and ye shall receive, King. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Actually, I was going to throw shit. Let me just pause it. Whew. Thank you for tuning in. It's very much appreciated. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that great stuff. Follow us on our social media platforms as well. The Day After TNB on Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok. And repost the stuff that we share kindly. Thank you kindly. Post it on your stories, retweet. You can actually repost as well on TikTok. It's really cool. Yeah, you can. Yeah. If you want to send dilemmas in, the number to call, of course, you can join our Discord as well. The Day After TNB on there as well. But if you want to text us or drop a WhatsApp with your dilemmas, all that great stuff, the number is 075 6484 1073. If you'd like to inquire about the show or feature on the show, the email address is thedayafter@thenewblack.com. Have a great... Oh, wait. We're not here tomorrow. We're not here tomorrow, so we'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye.
Peace.